Okay, now. Yo guys, welcome to the special episode. It's not a map of the month or map of the year because we're still in October. And this time I'm also not alone. I got BriaN with me.
Hi, hello.
And we had this idea that we're making a tier list, but we're making pretty much the mother of all tier lists. We're voting 666 mappers in this tier list. So take your time with watching this video. It will be long as hell. I assume at least 2 hours, maybe longer. I don't know. It will be quite a ride, I think. So yeah, we have several tiers set here. BriaN prepared this all. We added mappers. I just scrolling through this a little. We'll get to every single one of them. So just you have an oversight how much mappers there actually are. And yeah. The tiers go from gold, legend, excellent, has had potential, depending on, if he's still mapping or not. Above average, average, below average. The not so good ones, and of course, because there are so many mappers, some will be only known by BriaN, especially OG sectors, like for me, more like I know maybe one map or maybe even zero. But same time, there will probably also be some mappers only I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, is there anything
Yeah.
to add? Do you want to add something before we gonna start with the first one?
Maybe just a few things. So, first of all, I think this is gonna be interesting. Happy to be here. Thanks for the invite, even though it was actually me inviting you, pretty much.
Yeah, it was kind
Um,
of the same idea.
yeah, I had an idea and I needed a platform for it, and you have a YouTube channel, so
Yeah, yeah.
deal with it. Um, yeah, so I painstakingly added all of the mappers. There is some bias, so I try to basically it's mainly about relevance, but more so relevance to the conversation. So there are a few mappers who might be missing, in favor of more active or newer mappers. There's a shitload of old school mappers here, shitload of OGs. Many of them will be a bit unknown. There are a few I added, who I wanna speak about just for like a few seconds, few sentences. But yeah, I think this is going to be interesting because Carney and I will disagree. I think a lot.
Most likely.
We're going to have very different opinions on mappers. So this is partially why we thought it would be a better idea to have two separate lists. Because I'm not sure if we were trying to build one, then it would be really representative of our opinions because it would be just like so different. But yeah,
Yeah, I think there will be a lot of changes in our list. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, let's find out. Also about the order, you're gonna see that it's mostly alphabetic, but also not. If you want, you can pause and just see if you are included, whether it's like worth watching for you. But
It,
we are gonna get to all of these mappers. Some of them will be, pretty straightforward, and we won't talk about them much. But there's gonna be many interesting mappers here. We will discuss shortly.
in case you feel offended that you're not in the list, please write a hate mail to me and I maybe give you a personal tier just for you. Maybe. But I'm not sure if you're really missing someone
I mean, if
important.
if you are watching this and you are a mapper who has like made more than a few maps, then there's a good chance that you are in here. If you aren't, then sadly you're just not relevant enough, for me personally,
Yeah.
because I built this. So you can address the hate mail to me. I also know that I might make some enemies here. I'm not gonna be sugarcoating or hiding my opinions, but I'm also not gonna be. I'm not gonna be unjust. I won't try to be rude just for the sake of being rude. So yeah.
I mean, it can be entertaining. I mean, I also got my fair share of hate, so yeah, it comes with being the apparently mapping police. It is what it is.
There's gonna be a few names who I already know I'm gonna have a few words about who, if they knew or if they heard and they wouldn't appreciate it, but it's just, it is what it is.
We'll just see how it goes. But anyway, since we've got so many, shall we start with the actually quite also OG GOAT already, pretty much.
Yeah.
At least in my eyes, it's like if you read Andersah, you damn well know, okay, yep, that's a legend. That's definitely a legend. But is he also a GOAT? I don't know actually. I mean, he will definitely be, for me personally, in the one of the first two tiers because Pure Skills Paradise series is definitely like a milestone in the entire history of MTA mapping.
Yeah. I guess this is already the perfect time to express my overall opinion. Whenever someone asks me who the best mapper is or who I think the best mapper is, it's hard to tell because for me, it's basically the way I imagine is if as if you were like, for example, a game character, you had like skill points to share. I don't think there is a single mapper who is maxed out at all. So
Yeah.
I think Andersah is almost the best, if not the best, on the track side. And I'm not talking about like how smooth it is or something, but the guy single-handedly invented so many HDM. I think he pretty much invented HDM back in the day.
I would
Like
say if
whenever
I
his few maps came out, they were like full of like brand new ideas. And I'm not talking about like hold up and right and then something is gonna happen. The guy actually had like
yeah.
groundbreaking ideas in every single map for like I mean every single map is like three maps, like V4, V5 and DSP. But they were like so groundbreaking and like revolutionary tracker wise that for me he's a goat. Track wise. 100%.
I mean, I definitely see that he's. I mean, there are some type of mappers. I think I also once said it in a map of the month video that as some mappers I consider pioneers. Like they drop a map, and this map pretty heavily influenced the course of certain sectors of the game. There are more than just pure skills paradise or like even dark skills paradise. But yeah, I definitely would say that Airshell is probably the very first instance of like where the nowadays HDM went, but like in the these days more simple ideas. Like I know what he on, but like if he might was the first person to make backward parts, I'm not sure.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like the
I think
backward
so.
parts, also like this tighter loop jumps and all, and like all those ideas he had just to make something skilled and really making also good use of that you can turn the infernos like on, I think it was Dark Skill Paradise or like Need for Skill, which is the shorter version, where you have also like this approaches of turning through bellies and all that's later extended on. I think that's
Yeah.
all pretty much in these maps, yeah. So I think I can agree to put him on GOAT, actually. Because he was so far ahead of his time, actually.
Yeah, he was, and it's important to mention that the way I'm rating them, anyways. I don't know about you, but it's important to try to be objective in a sense that we are rating Undershell on how good he was at the time. So I know that it's like greatest of all time, but it's hard to it's hard to tell how good he would be now, like
Yeah,
fucking 12
obviously.
years after his last map. So at the time, he was definitely the fucking goat of tracks. Decoration wise, not really, because I don't know if you know this, for example, but his Volume 5 was basically decorated by the entire FFS clan.
Oh, I didn't actually I didn't know
Like
this.
fucking Micra, Dead Angel, even fucking Venom placed objects in the map. Micra told me.
It's funny though,
So
because I genuinely like the like honestly there's something like I enjoy playing Volume 4, like the first part, but the second part I don't enjoy playing, but I like the decoration there.
yeah, because Micra told me that like so obviously the FFS guys knew the map and they saw it while it was being made. And they were all so excited for it that like fucking everybody helped decorate it. So it's like a massive group project.
I mean, in the end, it was a cool decision because like the map has such a cool vibe still to it, even though I feel like it's a little bit annoying to play. But same time, it's what you already said. Like, I mean, personally, I'm going like for like 80% subjective and a little bit objective. But
Yeah.
given that this map was, I don't know, released in 2012, bro had
Yeah.
zero script. I'm not even sure how advanced the AMT knowledge was back then or something. Like also no real script knowledge except from really basic stuff and all. And bro just made such an insane map. That's like wild stuff.
Yeah.
So that's gotta be appreciated.
Let's move on because at this pace, this video is gonna take 24 hours.
Yeah, fair enough. You have so many goats already here in front. I'm already
Yeah, we're
seeing
almost
them.
gonna
Like,
talk about them, and
come
there's gonna
on.
be more mappers who we won't talk about as much.
Yeah. Alrighty. Then let's start with the second one. The one I really like personally, Gus. Gus for me is like the early HDM, but like the more cooler version of it, simply because I really appreciate how that guy managed to make skill-based parts on like the most basic tasks ever.
Yeah,
Like, needed skill on paper is such an easy map, but when you play it, it's like, how the hell can I finish this? Like, at least if you were early on there. Like, nowadays it's kinda easy given all the other things you already know about the game. But back then, needed skill was so randomly tough, even though it looked like nothing to worry about. This
yeah,
damn war ride looping was such a barrier I just couldn't get over.
yeah. It was much harder back then. Like I guess the level of how good players were and how good they were at controlling the car was much lower than it is now. So yeah, for me, I don't know if he's a goat. Because if I'm looking at his entire um mapography, what do you call a map discography? A mapography is a map fucking not collection, but like you know what I mean. The map set that he made, he was really fucking good, and every single time he released something was exciting, but it wasn't always groundbreaking or special. That doesn't necessarily mean that he wasn't great. For me, he's a legend. I don't think he's a goat. He wasn't far off. Um, but I think to me he's a I don't want to sound mean because I really fucking like Gus, his maps, and also a cool guy. A bit watered down version of Andersah for me. So less groundbreaking stuff, but more like maps actually. He released more maps. But yeah, he made okay night style decoration. It he wasn't really good at decorating stuff, but they still look good, which is also a skill.
Wait, actually, you think? Because I would say he's actually quite good in decoration. Like, we gotta see that he's also read an earlier map. I don't know when he stopped, but I think like even maps like Sleepwalker were like in 2013, I think. I'm not too sure about the time
And
numbers
yeah,
here. But
yeah,
like, personally, I'd say, for example, Suspense Killing Me is like such a unique style map. I really like that one. And Sleepwalker also looks so amazing to me. I don't know. I would say he can actually pretty damn well rock the decoration.
no, they were good, but I'm saying they're not
So
like I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but they're not like Kiwi or Scarf level nice style. If you take a
yeah,
closer
okay,
look at his
fair.
Volume 8, it looks cool, but it's basically like buildings and interiors just placed around the track. It looks amazing and it has great colors, so he had a great skill for that. And he definitely has his own style, but I'm saying that it's not like, you know,
I
it's
mean,
it's a level below for me.
honestly, I think I will also just put him on Legend, but mainly because I feel like I have to leave some space for Goat. Basically, he's like a half Goat, but I kinda have to put him a little down because I don't wanna have my Goat list already like too many in there, so it keeps his value.
Yeah. Which half though?
But he's
The
very
front or the
good. Like, I really like his style, and I feel like it was very hard. This like even after him that this type of HDM um like to continue the style of HDM where you don't have like crazy turns or something, because that's like for me what Gus is standing for, like simple parts in core but like super hard to perform.
Yeah, and he also had new ideas. Let's not forget.
Oh,
He invented
definitely.
he invented many parts. Maybe not as much as Undershell, but he was up there. So he's not quite a goat for me, but he's definitely one of the biggest legends in the game.
I mean, what you could say is that after Sleepwalker, he kinda got down a little. Like everything after Sleepwalker was kinda like just okay-ish,
Yeah,
because I
I can
guess
relate to that
he
too.
didn't like the
Guy was
style
just like
anymore.
cooling down. Yeah, he was just making stuff that he wanted to make, and I can appreciate that. And they were still good maps.
Definitely, just entirely different. Like if you look at Volume 9 and then at Volume 10, it's like, whoa, what the hell? That's the same mapper.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, do what you want as mapper. It's fine for me. So yeah. And let's go to the next one. I would say Abodi rules. Yeah, that guy. I actually can't really recall how I met him. I think I first played as Volume 3 and then jumped to like Volume 5 and was like, it's a very weird mapper. And it really took a while till I get a liking to him because honestly, let's say it like this: he is definitely somewhat a pioneer if it comes to like Patriot and especially bike parts. That's
Yeah.
like kind of his element, definitely. He's, if I think about him, it's like those two cars, definitely. Not to narrow down it only those because he's also well in furnace parts. But what I can say is that I only like some bits of his maps, and it's barely an entire map. The only ones I could point out here would be Dark Lair 2 and Reflection of Perfection. The others I just consider like no real fun to play, even though they're just still kind of cool.
Hmm. Okay, interesting. It's gonna be the. We may not disagree on the ranking, but we're gonna disagree on the maps. I mean, what's important to mention about Abodi? First of all, he was a really old school player in EPG. That's where the bike parts come from. And then he also wasn't a decorator at all. So he decorated his Volume 5 himself. It's a James style. So
Decoration is a huge word, not gonna lie.
yeah, his Volume 4 was decorated by a guy called Game Man. He was an Indian guy. GX M3 MXM. It was decorated entirely by him. And his Volume 6 was also decorated by like 10 other people.
Why is ghost mapping so
So,
crazy?
yeah, and it's not gonna be the last occasion that it comes up. For me, Abodi is kind of like Gus, but a tier lower. So for me, it's not about like whether he's a legend or a goat, but whether he's excellent or legend.
I mean, I would have put him on excellent actually, because simply like from a subjective perspective for me, as I said, I really feel like most of his maps are really annoying. I also, for example, I never topped 7 deaths. Actually, I'm pretty sure I would be capable of it, but the map is so annoying. Like especially this. I mean, many maybe feel with me if I say that this one part where you have like to angle your bike 90 degree and then slide over this fence is like the most annoying stuff ever if you're not into biking.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it's so damn annoying. And without this pillar skip, I would have never seen the parts after, honestly.
Yeah, that wasn't planned, by the way. Like in the fixed version, there's markers, so it can go back, but it was actually just found by a random guy who failed the part. So it was
Like,
intended to just, if you fail the bike skip, the bike slide, then you just fail the map.
and it's like I feel like just it's a lot of. I think that's pretty much about the rules for me. It's like a lot of ideas, but you could say unfortunately or not unfortunately, it's depending on what you like. Is that he just combined too many things that the community isn't really into. So you can't really get in an Abodi rules map without like liking specific things. And
I mean, for me, that's just the bikes, and that's just the one part. Otherwise, I think it was great.
I mean, I don't know about you, but like back then, like 12 or 13, like 2013, I remembered the Dark Lair maps being so hilarious because people were like 30 seconds on the spawn just failing this one damn up climb,
Okay, yeah.
driving back
No, but
again. And then,
that's a fucking skill issue at that point. Like,
yeah, of course. I mean, that's like one of my core memories about the body rules that everyone
yeah,
just failing this damn
yeah. At
spawn.
the start, it was like, huh? But I mean, it's
And
in one way, it's just a new part, right? Like,
yeah, but even better, then they get up there and then they fail the next jump because of the narrow gap.
yeah, yeah. But to like, long story short, I think he's gonna be top of excellent for me. I don't
Definitely.
think he's a legend. Nah, I don't think
I mean, he
so. I
kinda
don't think
is,
so.
but just for me, it's just too much annoyance for his match that I just won't place him there. I mean, he's arguably a legend for his name. That I would definitely grant him.
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
people know about the
I'm
rules.
gonna leave him here for now. I may move him to the bottom of legend because I think I'm gonna like rank them within the tiers when there's like not many mappers. I think I'm gonna like put them in order at the end. So I'm gonna leave him here for now. I may move him up later depending on who is an excellent, and he may like be the odd one out. He may be like much better than everyone else and excellent. And like, yeah, you know what, maybe.
Yeah, I always leave open to just swap them around because with so many mappers, yeah, that's only natural. So let's get going, and the next will be already, I can already say, go to legend to me, because Vortex might has like the sickest simple based maps with like cool decorations with actually banger songs, and there's barely like up to volume 9 or 8, I'd say, barely a map I don't enjoy from him. They're all just like super fun to play here and there.
Yeah.
So he won't go
Um,
lower than this.
Vortex is interesting. Um, he's the first mapper who people refer to as a goat. For me, it's not as clear cut. I think I agree. I think he's a goat. He was definitely out of his time, and he was the same with Andersah in the sense that every single time he released the map, like from like volume 9 up, it was something not necessarily groundbreaking, but it was definitely stuff that people hadn't seen before. And he
Yeah,
was really good at making like all of his maps were like double-sided a little. And what I also like about his maps is they were asymmetrical. So the double-sided, they are not like perfectly mirrored. So there's like some kind of, I don't know, there's personality to his maps. It's hard to explain. It's hard to put it into words. But I think he's definitely good.
yeah. I can just add that I think just that Vortex main selling point for me is that he just made his maps, especially like Volume 12 and 13, weren't too easy, so they were also still kind of interesting after several playthroughs. And what all those newer maps of him have in common is that they were just such a vibe, mainly also because of the song choice and how he made it flow along his maps. I feel like that was pretty much unmatched for
Yeah.
me. It was always a vibe to play his maps.
Yeah, and it may be a nostalgia factor thing, but every single Vortex map, I feel like they are not just a map with a song, they are like one unit.
Yeah, and they also set you kind of back in time these days. Especially Volume 10, I think, because the Volume 10 song is such a banger, honestly. And its
I think they all
variations.
are. They're all like iconic to me.
Oh, definitely, but it's like just this one particular song is always like. Usually on paper, the Volume 10 wouldn't be a map I like, but just because I can vibe to the song so much, it's suddenly such a good map to me, honestly.
Yeah.
Because we played it so well. But yeah, definitely GOAT for me. All right, and now let me just start the next mapper like this. I will just put him on GOAT and then elaborate, because arguably Claudio made the best decoration back then. In the very early days, I would say he was the best decorator of the times.
I would agree. Yes.
Especially like the first two maps, okay, like Answer to Life, Alien, but also Alien Experience already pretty much showed he is capable of stuff.
Yeah.
But like back then when I played this volume 3, I was at first like, okay, cool map, but actually played it like years later, like 2018 or 19, like when I was already mapping and all, and then I was like actually paying attention to the map more thoroughly, and I was like, that's like actually super high level of craft here with the decoration and also the track build. I was like, he did this in 2011, what the actual hell.
Yeah.
And that's the moment I realized Claudio is actually a goat. Not it was not only the Volume 4, which fair enough has like one of the most unique, iconic styles I've ever seen in a map. With the song, with the decoration, also track build there is like, I think Land of the Wizard is a map that you can't forget once you've played it back then, because it's just so unique.
Yeah. The what stands out to me most about his Volume 4 is the colors he uses.
Definitely, yeah.
Like it's so, as you said, it's so unique. It stands out. There's no other map that looks like it apart from the Edo Tensei's fucking tribute map, which is the same map basically at many parts.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
honestly hard to elaborate this theme honestly if you didn't do it before. Like it's I don't know, this was just a genius map just. Even though I gotta say I hate the last parts of it because they're super confusing to me and I'm not sure if I played them wrong till this day, but the
Yeah,
map is still goated.
I feel like it was rushed because it's not the original version. You know the Do you know the story? Should I say the story about his
I
Volume
don't
4?
know much stories about older mappers now.
Basically, what happened is Claudio was making his Volume 4 on Doper's mapping server, the recorder Doper, the cinema.
Ah, wait, the Doper story I know
Yeah,
actually.
so basically, long story short, he finished his map on the server, but Doper basically disappeared. He got into the hospital. What Claudio told me is a tree fell on Doper. Like
Yeah,
maybe he was a lumberjack or something. I don't know how it happened. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe it was while at work. I have no idea. Basically, the guy got into hospital, and then he came back, but he didn't send the map to Claudio, and then he disappeared again. So the story, like, the rumor is that he's dead. Basically, Claudio said he thinks he's dead. Long story short,
yeah.
he never received his map, so the only version he had was basically done until the point where it gets different, like the SWAT part. So that's
Yeah, it
why
makes sense, of
he took
course.
many months to remake the rest, and it's just completely different. It's longer than it was in the video. Whether it's better or not, it's hard to tell because we never got to play the original version. So it's I don't know.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, I didn't know that also Claudio's map was a fake. I heard the Dopa story before actually. That some stuff happened to him, but that's really unfortunate. Yeah, but
Yeah, it's
also
also
makes so
weird
much
that
more sense
the
now.
guy recorded the map for him, so he did the recording and he recorded the map, but they still didn't send it to him.
Yeah, so it's basically like it's somewhere there, but same time not, because no one
Yeah,
would have access to his
it's
account.
weird.
I see.
I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
also interesting. Yeah, but I guess we can agree that he's definitely a goat.
definitely. Yeah.
And that would bring us to the next one. The guy I played some maps prior just to get more into him because I would have had, else I wouldn't be able to just say something now about him. Fusions is an odd case for me, honestly. Fusions is like at first I was like, why everyone likes this guy? Because a certain group of people keeps buying his maps and they really enjoy it. And I was like, they look so basic and all, but playing his better maps like Sunfire, for example, I kinda started to get it. I kind of started to get it because it's like some interesting track building he has. I mean, he's also not a decorator guy. Honestly, though, I still have no real clue how to place him because I'm not sure how old he is. I guess he's a pretty OG mapper still because it's like his
Very much,
maps just kind of show this. And I really just played his first map in like 2017 or something. So I guess I have now a way different story. And it might be the first guy we depart here. I would just finish my part here with putting him on above average and just listen to you now.
Okay, so Fusions is a pretty OG mapper. He stood out even like 10 or 12 years ago because he made a lot of his track by hand.
What?
So he has a lot of parts in his maps. If you play like 5 or 10 of his newer maps, maybe not the newest maps, but the newer maps like Speed 123, or he has a map called End of Days with Us Savannah.
That's by the way,
He,
just real short. That's by the way something I want to add. If you don't know Fusion's history, it's super hard to tell what the newer maps are. Honestly, I was like, I
yeah,
was scrolling, and I was like, okay, he has 5 volumes, and every volume is like a tour map with a certain car, and then you have like, okay, skills 2. Okay, that will be like some series. Then you have Sunfire. Then you have 3 or 4 speed parts, and they're just all named like this. You have no idea what came first, literally.
yeah. Basically, if the map has a song, if it has music, then it's fairly new. If it doesn't, then it's older.
I
Um,
see.
yeah, for me, it's weird because I would definitely call Fusions a legend just because of his name. But if I'm thinking about like his maps and stuff, and Might be an unpopular opinion, but I think his latest maps kind of give me the vibe that he overstayed his welcome. Like his very last map is a fit with Ironox called Vector, and it's possibly one of his worst maps ever made. It just doesn't fucking work at all.
I think I've seen it once, but I'm not sure if I played it. Maybe just when it got released. I can't remember.
It's painful. It's painful. I'm gonna put him at excellent.
All right.
And then we're gonna see. Everything is subject to change. For me, he is excellent, and then we're gonna see.
I'll just keep him above average because you know what he kind of has the vibe for me. He's like the pre-version of Swifty Volume 2, the map, but just the map, like the simple based mapping that's just somehow always occasionally there in servers. It's not standing out, but it's
similarities, yeah.
But it's just working fine as hell.
Yeah, I see it actually. I never thought about it, but yeah, kind of.
But yeah, I definitely appreciate the maps. But now we go to. I would like to say a goat, but he's not a goat. I call him goat because his maps also go to the very iconic for me tier because he has one of the most awesome music tastes in the entire MTA mapping history.
Yeah.
Budya, a lot of cool maps, honestly. I would say starting from volume 8, you can play all of his volumes. They are all great on their own, I think. Some are a little bit weird, like volume 13, you have to get into it, or like, especially the newer ones, like volume 17 is a little bit more over the place with his parts.
Yeah.
Like, he tried something, but it's not his thing. All in all, though, I would say I would rate Budya as a legend, I think, because his decoration style, not the best, but very iconic and unique, especially for that time. And I think still are kinda. I can really say if I see a Budya map, like a Budya decoration style, it's made by him also track-wise, which also not always isn't the best in particular, but always somewhat fine to play. Yeah, for me, I just had too much great times with his tracks and maps overall that I would say, yeah, he's a legend for me. Straight up.
For me, I think Budya maps aged well. He wasn't really popular back then when he was the most active, and his maps kind of just got better with time, I think. A bit of a conundrum here. I think he's excellent. I don't think he's a legend. I think the more I think about it, I may have to push Abodi and Fusions up to legend later, because I think Budya is a level below Fusions and Abodi. So yeah, we're gonna see. I really like his maps. Yeah, there's not much else to say. I really like him, but I don't think he ever made anything groundbreaking. I love his use of recolored textures. I like his music. I like his track. I like his decoration. There's really not much wrong with his maps. Maybe the new maps are a bit like, yeah, maybe
he
he's
just
also
tried
like
too much,
a
but
bit
it's
overstaying his welcome, or like they're giving just a tiny bit of "What's up, fellow kids" vibes. You know what I mean? But I still can't speak ill of him. I really like his map. So for now, he's excellent. I think he's gonna stay in there. I may move Abodi Infusions up later.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, I appreciate that he tried to go with time because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
always granted, but there are some episodes that did way worse, and I can't wait to talk about them.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on because
But yeah.
there's so many maps to talk about.
Yeah, I know that's the thing, but you know what's bad about this? The next mapper is someone I have to talk about more than I would because oh my god, ShonDex. Okay, first off, ShonDex, I consider him a friend. I never really interacted with him a lot, but like we had some project here and there we worked on. I've never released anything. He's a super kind guy, honestly. He's a very kind guy. I like him. But his maps always. I have a history with this. It's like ShonDex is like, that metronome thing that's like, that helps you keep like rhythm. It's basically like this, like left side, bad map. Right, good map. Bad map, good map. Bad thing, good thing. That's like ShonDex for me. It's always that thing. And that's not because he makes sometimes HDM, sometimes not and stuff. It's like Cup Natural, for example, very cool maps. I also like his earlier HM approaches, like some of them, like Planet in Chains, super cool. But then this weird jump happened where he made like all this hustling map after map, like Playoff Harden 3, the Orchestra Rain 2, and all these maps are so crazy unplayable. I hate them all pretty much. Literally all of them. They're all so annoying to play. And I like HGMs, like, to some degree. But compared to like Notorious Ability or like even Driving on the Heights, I don't even like that map so much. But that was at least like somewhat more enjoyable to play than this weird clusterfuck of parts he did after. Like they were all barely enjoyable. It's really a shame. His Volume Elf is just the icing then. It's like the map was almost fine and then he made a 30-second Hunter slide part? Why the hell that even is a thing? And it's always so over the top of him that I can't really say where I want to put him. He is definitely too colorful to be like lower than average, but I'm not sure if all those flaws allow him to go like up to legend, honestly. Because he definitely has impact, he's insanely valuable for the maps he did also back then with motherfucker skills and all with DK, but where do I place this guy? I just want to hear you first before I make my decision.
Well, for me, it's harder because I'm unfamiliar with like most of his maps. But I can still, I think, confidently say that he's one of the best HDM mappers who are still active. I was thinking while you were talking, and first of all, I think I've already had a change of heart, and I think I'm gonna go do this. So I think, yeah, I think Juvens and Abodi are legends, and Budya is like a level below them, and I think I'm gonna put ShonDex in excellent. He has great ideas. Maybe the execution is not the best, but I also think at this point I'm not the person to judge. I do not like. I don't make such HDM maps. Like I think time has passed over my head in that regard, so I don't think it's my place to comment. Um, I have my opinion on HDM maps. I don't like the blow scripts. I don't like the execution of most maps. Whether I think I could do them better, not really. Um, yeah, I don't know. For me, he's still one of the better HDM mappers. He does have many great ideas, which, if anything, they look great on the fucking video. Whether they work in game is another question, but
I mean,
he's definitely a creative guy. I think he's gonna end up being at the bottom of excellent for me.
I think I also once quoted, I said something along the lines of ShonDex is the mapper you really adore when you like videos because he maps for videos. That's what I said. It's not like that's a canon thing that he really does that, but it always felt like this because it's like some McDonald's advertise. Like you see this yummy burger and then you play, like you want to eat it, and then it's like, oh, it's not like in the advertisement. That's like a ShonDex map. It looks so cool, and then you play it and you hate your life, pretty much. But yeah, I think I just go with you on excellent simply because he's just too much to be just an above average, and his creativity still skyrockets, definitely. Yes, skyrocketing creativity. It's just that, oh my god, his maps can be so annoying, and every time I have to play them maybe for some tournament, I'm like usually, oh my god, please no. Please no. I don't want to play this too much. Please no. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
for the entire time, he's also like he goes way back, and he scaled a lot. So yeah, I think it's fine to put him on excellent. So the next one will be, I guess, vice versa because I have pretty much nothing to say about Razer. I only know Bonanza pretty well. Bonanza is a super solid, cool map. Nothing against it. Pretty much above average for me. And I think I will just keep it like that because the only other map I played was like some volume 40.5 something with Asuna. And I remember it mainly from the fact that it was lagging as hell because there was a snow effect and it was FPS dropping
Yeah.
I don't want to rank it because I'm sure that can be fixed and all, but yeah, I'm just rating Bonanza here, and Bonanza is fine above average, and I think Razer did more than Bonanza.
Yeah, Razer is a really old mapper, and when he was active, he was pretty good at the time. I don't think he was the best, but I think he was pretty good. Um, his maps after Bonanza are hmm, they're like nostalgic, bittersweet maps. Like they're not super good, but I really appreciate that they exist and they feel like a Razer map, which is awesome. I like them, but I don't think they live up to who Razer was at the time, if that makes sense. I think I'm gonna put him in excellent. Am I? Hmm.
I mean, as I said, I can't really help you here. I only know
Yeah,
Bonanza.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It's hard because the first word that comes to mind is legend, but I don't think he's on that level. I don't think he ever was.
Does he
Yeah.
have so many great maps for real?
No, he doesn't have many great maps, but like he was. For example, Fusions was much more active later than Razer was. Like Razer made his volume 13 and then kind of disappeared for many years, and then he came back and he made a few new maps which are like okay. They're not like super cool, but they're fine. But Razer was he was he was a really good mapper a really long time ago. So it's hard to tell.
Alright then, yeah, I just keep him above average because I appreciate Bonanza. He's just a Bonanza guy for me, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, above average,
I would
probably.
love to change a bit, but sorry, like, I mean, if
Yeah,
that's the volume 13, I can't play that many maps to check into him. It is what it is. So
yeah,
just to
I'm gonna leave him
keep
there.
the
He may end up
pace.
being at the top of above average. We will
Mm.
see.
So just to keep the pace, we'll jump to a map I can say more about. I fancy, and therefore I'm not sure if I put him on excellent or legend. I just go on excellent for now. We'll see. Mainly because fancy has no. You know what? Actually, he's fine on excellent because he has some maps that are just neat, and he has some bangers. It's like Volume 9 is the first coming to mind. The Dark Feronia is kind of iconic for me because it was an overplayed map on the server I used to play, AEG. That was very popular. And then his Volume 10 Shrine of Azura, which I think is his most famous map. I think. If it
And
isn't Forny Aster, maybe later on because it was also played a lot. But I think Shrine of Azura is the map that's most iconic to portray fancy because this narrow part style with a lot of rooms, but also so insanely colorful. The moment he noticed he's good at darker maps, that's like the moment it made click, and he was like skyrocketing with his mapping skill, I think. Because after that, there were also
immortal.
more nighttime maps that just like he's just so good at this. He's so good at doing like light style visuals, and for me, I'm a simp for neons and for lighting maps. So yeah, fancy just has to click with me. And Shrine of Azura would be like a gold map, but since he's more than just Shrine of Azura, I'll just toss it down to excellent. He's definitely a great mapper, and you can really much only enjoy his maps. And at least
Yeah.
if you can, like, if you know where to go, because sometimes it maybe can be a little bit irritating for the eyes.
Long story short, agreed. Um, I'm gonna do it like this for now. Um, yeah, his old maps I can't say much about because I don't think they even exist anymore. I've never seen them.
Pretty
His
much only
volume
volume
6
7.
was kind of shit, and then his volume 7 was better. So he got much better from his volume 7 and on, and he also had a lot of feats which were really cool. Yeah, solid mapper. He's really excellent. He had his own style, which I always appreciate. So yeah, not much else to say. He was really good.
Alright, then the next one. This mapper has only like two maps for me. Cashflow, the volume 5, and volume 8 Yoshi City. Everything else is like I don't really care about it. It was always like there, and I would rate all of those average. But since Yoshi City and Cashflow won, I mean Cashflow is also pretty average with maybe a little bit above average. But Yoshi City, which maybe a lot of people disagree, I really like this map because it's such a vibe. So all in all, I would say Tremor for me is above average. He isn't really some mapper I would put on a high podium and be like, oh my god, Tremor is the GOAT or something, but he was there and I appreciate his maps. They were always a little bit exceeding with some minor bangers.
Mm, long story short, again, for me, he's just average. I like his maps. They have a nostalgic factor to me because of ER. But he was never like outstanding to me in any ways. His Volume 5 song is memorable, but that's about it for me.
Oh, Yoshi City is actually the more memorable for me. I don't know why, but the
You
moment
really
I've
like
seen
the
this map,
song?
I was like, yeah,
I don't like the
that's.
song, but nah, I don't like the map.
I mean, I like sometimes I just like this weirder kind of maps that are just usually you have to train them like once and then you're through with them. Like then you can play them because that's like a phenomenon. A lot the M maps still have that you have to play them once entirely and then it's done. You can actually play them before you're like, what the hell's going on even. And that's pretty much Yoshi City. But yeah, let's jump to the next one. Probably more for you than for me. Regx, I mean, he had a recent release, though he still is inactive, but yeah. Um, honestly, you know what? You will start with this one because I would like to know what he even maps himself. I only know Blue Dusk, and I'm not sure if he's like more the track guy or the decoration guy, I guess track, but yeah,
um,
maybe you should
okay,
start.
Regx is gonna be the first person for me who had potential. The reason is he only has like 5 or 6 maps total, depending on whether you count a really troll map. It's called Kappa, and it's just a few seconds long map where you just fall down from the sky, and that's it. So he has like 5 maps total, which are actual full releases. Um, his Volume 3 was he made the track himself entirely, and then the decoration he had some help by or from Johnny and Cosa Nostra. So decoration wasn't ever his strong suit. I think he had potential to be better. I don't think he ever. Every single map of his, for example, his feat with Paki and Drabe after Earth's Legacy, it just feels like he just made some track in the editor and it was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And then he just gave it to the Paki and Drabe guys to like actually make it into a good map. It was cool, but I don't think we ever got to see the best of him. His map with Rhythm, it's also an old track, and it feels like to me the track feels like a cheap copy of After Earth's Legacy, and I don't mean to be rude. It's just how it feels to me. Um, yeah, he had potential to be better.
Honestly, with that arguments, I think I agree because honestly, After Earth's Legacy is actually one of my favorite Peggy maps, actually, and it's mainly because the track is so unique, and I've seen that definitely also in this. I actually even forgot an Unstage. They named it Unstage. Yeah, I saw it there too. That this track is just kind of cool. It's worse, but I like this kind of style where you have like walls guiding you, but same time it still feels dynamic. I don't think I've had this in another map other than After Earth's Legacy. And I damn well know that given the stuff I've saw from Drake before, he doesn't really map like this. So I guess Regx is maybe the main reason why I like After Earth's Legacy, so that's enough to say, yeah, he
I'm
probably
pretty
had more
sure
potential.
I'm pretty sure Regx made the entire track in After Earth's Legacy. So Drabe and Paki only made the decoration. I think.
Yeah, then I can definitely agree with this tier. And then we have. I wonder how you will rate this guy because he is like so high valued in with certain groups of people who like say Rhythm is the absolute goat, and I kinda get where it's coming from. But if I think about those, those scenery decorative guys, I consider goats or like make or like more OGs and make cool tracks here and there. I think Rhythm is definitely below this because I'm not gonna toss down that like Volume 6 to 8 are all cool maps, definitely. But they never clicked on a level like, I don't know, for example. No, wait, we will come to those later. But you know, you kind of get what I'm saying. Like, Rhythm was never so much exceeding. Like, Volume 8 is super unique. Volume 7 also is somewhat unique. And Utopia, the Volume 6, is just a really solid half speed map. But he's at this pace just excellent. I say like just or maybe above average because other than this map, I don't know. But I think those maps are enough to put them on excellent because they are well done maps. But I never clicked with Rhythm. I don't know. He never was that great for me.
Yeah, his new maps or like his latest maps feel like they are trying to like reach into a territory which he isn't there yet, in the sense of like where he would like rank on my tier list. Um, like they look great, but for example, his Volume 8 is just maybe it's just me, but they're not like super well playable. They feel a little confusing. Like you have to know them a little, which
That
it's not necessarily a problem. I don't know. Yeah, I think it may just like end up being a personal taste issue, but I don't think he's a legend or anything. I'm gonna put him in excellent, and then mm, yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this for now, and then see.
I mean, I just think I won't sort the mappers in the tiers themselves for me personally because it would be just too many. But
Yeah,
what I just want to
I
add
may stop doing that. Yeah.
what I just want to add is that Rhythm is definitely like those, especially Volume 7, Volume 8 are definitely the type of maps I was talking about with like you have to train them once entirely, like one run, and then you can play them. Before it will be a tough time for you.
Yeah.
That's definitely that type of map. Alright, next one. I somehow feel like you really like this guy. I don't know. It's just like a hunch I have. For me personally, Laiv Villa, Castle of Glass is actually super iconic. He also had one map, I can't recall which one it was, but he also had like some Jacob style I built things map. I don't know what it was. But it was like some map with some
Right.
creative shape decoration where he built some monsters or something. I don't know.
I think it's his Volume 2. It's called Almost Invaded, I think.
Yeah, exactly. That was a super lovely map. I really liked this. It was super charming. Then I think he was also part of the Daylight map, I think.
Yeah,
So
the
all in
Star.
all, Laiv Villa for me screams like very simple styled, cool maps, not hyper exceeding, but same time just enough to be like a name for himself. So I would also put him on excellent, honestly.
Mm, hmm. For me, it's just above average. I never really connected with his maps. They were okay. They were never bad, but they also weren't like standout maps for me. So yeah, not much else to say for me. I think it was above average. Like his maps felt a little bit more like they felt a little bit more special than the rest, but that's it.
I mean, maybe it's maybe I should also put him on above average, but same time I feel like if in the entire sector of those more older style mappers, he somehow stood out to me, so that's I feel like I have to put him higher than the others. But maybe I put him lower later. I gotta see. The next one actually even is one of those. It's like okay, Scar. I know you like one map of him a lot. I know that because you were like the only guy having a top time on some server. I think it was Volume 5 or Volume 6. I can't recall, but
Yeah,
you definitely like one of these maps a lot. For
yeah.
me, is the most memory I have for him is like the Volume 2. Very iconic map if you are a noob still in the game. You will really enjoy playing Bad Sensations. Apart from that, I mean I also played this one Volume 5, Volume 6 was interesting. Also a little play it once and you can play it pretty well. I'm not sure if I want to put him on average or above average. I feel like I know too less about him. I think if I would have played more maps, he could be above, but I would put him on average, which is kind of the lowest mapper yet. Damn.
Um, let's pick up the pace a little, above average, and let's move on.
Alright then.
I like his maps.
Pretty neat guy. FakeDeath. Has to be super high. Has to be super high. Blackout is super cool map. The speedrun series super awesome. His volume 10 is very unique, I think. Unleashed also. All in all, definitely a legend. I wouldn't say he's a GOAT, but definitely a legend. He has
I agree with
so
this.
many super great maps and barely any bad maps. That's such a good guy. Also
Yeah,
glowing in the
he was
dark.
really solid. He was really consistently good. He had his own style, and he stuck with it, and it's just always good.
Yeah, there's barely anything bad I can say about him. Just that he's not super insane.
Yeah.
And Micra will be the hardest, honestly, from this older mappers, because Micra, I would say he's kind of decorative pioneer. I can't say really, because sometimes it feels like he invented the rock decoration. I'm not sure about it, but like his maps kind of stood out for this. But same time, if I pin it down to solo Micra maps, we have volume 21 from him, so there are a lot. I don't know all of them because the most outstanding are like the Russian Lullaby volume 12, the Flawless volume 18, and the 21 Orthodox. Honestly, pinned down to those maps, I don't like his maps. Though they're still solid quality, but I don't like them. So I would say, I mean, he is a legend, but same time, I would put him just like Abodi Rules on excellent, because that, I don't know, man. I'm just not clicking with him too much.
The reason you don't know most of his maps is because they're DD maps, so they're not all of his volumes
Oh,
are
I
DM
see.
maps. So volume 12, there are like the
Wait, he
first
made
one.
volumes in DD maps, basically.
Yeah, so DD and DM combined.
Oh! I mean, I know
So
one map was like a monster truck spawn. I think it was Riot Volume 14, which was also DM, but I guess OS.
yeah, for me, he's a legend. Probably above Fusions, but below FakeDeath, just because of the consistency.
I mean, I
But
like,
that
I appreciate his efforts. He's definitely a legend name-wise, but yeah, as said, I like his stuff too less to put him that high. It's
yeah,
just the thing. Which also brings me to Nitron. Nitron is definitely, if it was a recording battle, he would be a GOAT. Since it isn't, I can only pin him down to Impel Down, which I only like your second part. The first part is just iconic, but that's about it. I guess Nitron is above average, but that's that. I don't know. Map wise, I haven't played too much of him, and most of his stuff is OS. So the features with like the Verge and Impel Down and Lost in Dreams, of course. How can I forget Lost in Dreams? Which I also like only the second part of. Yeah, he's probably higher in course for others, but not for me.
like this, I think, for me, and above average for now. Yeah, I agree. Mapping wasn't his strong suit ever. He was good. He was okay, but
I guess he got carried
yeah.
by Drake mainly, and maybe also Sea-Line. I feel like in these features, the other mappers are the better ones, and he's just like adding up to it. I don't know.
Uh,
Is
he
it?
pulls his own weight, but he doesn't overshadow the other people. That's for sure.
Like, I don't know. It's just hard to pin down for me. Same as the next guy. Like, I know Roll isn't some cool feats in, but if it's pinned down to him as a person, I have no clue, man. I think he had some features with Quantum, I think, or and negative. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could put him above average mainly because the maps he is in are above average. But I don't know if he's like himself super cool.
Uh, Road was above average for me. His tracks were always really unique. They were a bit buggy and they're a bit clunky, but they were also a bit difficult. So yeah, above average. He had personality his maps. He had his own style, and I really appreciate that.
I mean, might be an unpopular opinion, but if you are an OG mapper and your maps are like a little buggy and a little bit odd to play, then I feel like that's a green flag all the way.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
that means you exceeded.
it's charming, right?
But yeah, I mean, I agree with that. The roadmaps are usually not that easy to top on first attempts. And now we get to, yeah, I mean, I made an entire video about him. If you want to have the high opinion about it, then just check my history of Seed video. I
Hmm.
just keep it down short. I mean, the guy is watching this and waiting just where I place him. These days, honestly, he's a legend for me because nowadays he really established himself as one, if not the best speed track mapper we have these days. So yeah, he has a high climb ratio, and I can put him now at legend for being like the goat of speed.
Mm, I don't have much to say. For me, he's excellent. Maybe above Rhythm for now. Yeah, kind of. But maybe that's just because he's more active, so I see more of Z than Rhythm. Yeah, like this.
I just feel like his climbing is just something to really appreciate, even especially since he is still around to this day and he never really stopped too much. He got from those flatland maps to the speed stuff, and he got. If you look like at Dreamland or like even Fearless Flake, oh my god, the Fearless Flake jump is crazy. But from Dreamland to like his Lushland map or even Wasteland, you see how much he improved that stuff. It's just so crazy. And then we have Zerka. How do I rate Zerka? The thing is, its very, very best map is absolutely unknown. And that, which would be Tychos. Tychos is so crazy good. But he's mainly known for his feat with upper and like the general style that comes with like Reascension, and I don't even know how the upper map was named. And maybe even Bulmu. I would say Circa is above average to excellent. I would say excellent because I know how well he maps overall. And that the maps he can be credited for like are like the ones I feel like he's that are lower tier than Tychos. So all in all, I'd say he's excellent because he just can map that well. But in the name of the maps, he isn't as known as he probably should be. That's my statement to Zerka.
Thinking about where I want to rank Zerk actually made me realize something about Rhythm. I think I'm gonna put Rhythm down in Head's potential. For the same reason as I'm gonna put Circa in Head's potential. Um, I don't think
Actually,
they.
yeah, it makes sense.
I don't think we've seen the best of them. I think
Actually,
they haven't had a breakthrough, right? Like, they haven't made their fucking what do you call it? Uh, like their best thing. You know what I mean? Their magnum opus.
yeah. I mean, honestly, Tychos should have been this. I don't know why Tychos flopped like this because it isn't super cool map. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, I mean, I can say that Zerka's main reason for not mapping is that he just doesn't bother. He
Yeah,
likes mapping, but it's like it's MTA. There are more important things to do.
exactly.
That's
Has
like his
potential,
main
but he doesn't
reason.
care. So
So that's just the misery of Zerka. It's just a shame that he never glued it much. Anyway, nice. Will I get? Yeah, honestly, I put him on goat. We have a goat after this early because nice. I mean, I think his histories are a lot because like I think he started from scratch somewhere during his career with the Volume 1 stuff. But honestly, from the newer version of Nice from Volume 1 to Volume 9, I only have cool maps. There is not a single map in this duration that I don't like, at least a little. And they scale to partly even maps I really, really like. And then we also have Jandy, which is for me, honestly, my favorite nature map of all time, no cap. My favorite nature map of all time is Jandy, Nice Feed Marina. And given that all of his maps are so consistently cool and all, yeah, I put him on gold. He's just such a great mapper in every aspect, track and decoration.
okay, you might flame me for this.
You don't like him.
No, I do. I really do. I think it's amazing. I might be biased. I might be biased towards older mappers. But I think for me, Nice is top of excellent.
I mean, fair. As long as he's high enough, it's fine for me. It's just for me that I just like his journey overall. Like every map of him is just feels so cool because they're still like skill based and all. And especially what I want to point out, because I kept saying this in private messages, but I think never like openly because I never get to talk about Nice, is that I feel like he pretty much invented an own style of nature by just scaling rocks hype. Like especially if you play Dawn in the Ruins, it's visible that everything feels insanely giant even though it isn't. That's like when you really pinpoint looking at the decoration, you notice that it's just mainly because the rocks are scaled that high that you feel like everything is so big in his maps. Especially Fear in the Valley and Dawn in the Ruins. Like, and I really appreciate this type of style because it's kinda simple in core, but feels so great actually.
Okay.
So
Here's my
yeah.
proposal. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mappers in this row. Let's each of us go one at a time, ranking all 7 of them like quickly. So you start. You place CHRS wherever you think he
Yeah,
ranks.
you already
You
know.
say a
Yeah.
sentence about him, and then we move on because we are never gonna finish at this rate.
I told you early we probably have to settle with 5-6 hours, but fine. Okay. Oh, I can. Oh my god. Well, okay. Chris is honestly. Oh my god. I just have to collect myself a moment because Chris is actually not that easy to rank.
I
Let's
can start
say.
if you want.
I mean, New Age is now. I have to say it's like it's now a milestone map somewhere. I don't know why people just hung up on New Age. New Age really isn't that great. New Age 2 is honestly. That's really exciting. New Age 1 is pretty much really just a clusterfuck of HDM parts, and I don't know how it got to the prestige it got, but we have to live with it. Other than that, I like the Burning Skills series and even Infernal Path and the older stuff Chris did. It's just a shame that the very best map in the community I just don't like. I also like Progressive Torture actually. That's also super cool stuff actually because it just really is there to make you suffer and really HDM product. So Chris is actually really iconic for that stuff. He's really unique, and I put him on Legend because he has this pretty rare approach of things. So all in all, he is a legend for me.
Go on,
I'll,
rank all of these, and then I'll do it myself.
I'll do all 7 at the
Yeah.
same time. Okay, all right. Luca Kulz, I can only say what about his latest maps, like Volume 7, Volume 8 a little, because I played those. I'm not sure if he's under potential mapping, because he definitely struck me as a really great mapper, but at the same time, really played too less evidence of him, so I can really rank him. Probably I just put him on excellent because I feel like he is. Maybe you can say about him more later. Then Cheetah is unique as hell, definitely. Odd as hell too. I would also put him on excellent. Some maps are more boring, but same time he's so unique. I love playing Industrial Area of Skill 3, and also I think Volume 9 was it with there are a lot of flying around parts. Like you just get a little bit tossed by scripts, and the decoration approaches are so odd. It's just always alright to play a cheetah map, but he's not really an insane mapper or anything. Then Chiquito, above average, because mainly of his decoration. His decoration was always standing out for me. I can't really recall too many maps in specific in particular, but he was always a fun experience, so I would definitely put him above average. Actually, let me just skip Dexter because I know you can damn well say a lot about Dexter, and I wanna base it a little bit on that because I only know West Side Connection.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris is a potential as hell. If I have to put one in potential, it would be Chris. Because Chris I don't like his maps when he doesn't decorate, and when he decorates, he cooks so fine that I feel like that he's Sanji from One Piece because he really cooks that well. So that's literally the all Chris is about. Just decorate, please. Decorate more. Hooligan is kinda same with the potential. maybe I have to look more. He could also be excellent because I only seen the latest stuff of him. I know he's a kind of returning mapper, and yeah, that's that. But everything he did so far was pretty good. So I guess he's a potential mapper with tendencies to be excellent. And yeah, that's the row. Okay, all right.
Okay, my turn. CHRS. Mm, had potential. I don't think he ever tried really hard. I don't think he ever got to see the best of him. Luca Cools or Luca Souls, however you say his name. I'm gonna have to go average. He may prove me wrong, and he's welcome to.
No
But
way, he's just average.
I don't. Hmm. I was debating, and I don't know. I'm gonna put him in average, and then I just don't know. I'm not sure. I'm getting average vibes, and then he can prove me wrong. He's welcome to.
All right then.
Cheetah. Uh, I really like his maps, but I think it's the same thing. Like I don't think we ever got to see the best of Cheetah. I think he had more in him if he kept mapping, so I'm gonna put him in has potential. Somewhere like this. Chaquito, average for me, bang average. His volume 8 is pretty cool, so he might,
Oh,
if he
definitely
keeps
Volume 8 is
making
crazy good,
those maps,
actually.
then
Way more
sorry.
exciting than his previous maps, honestly. But the others are just really. I just like them for the decoration mainly. The track is average, but the decoration isn't for me.
Dexter, yeah. Chris. Sorry, Dexter's. Oh my god. Okay. Maybe I mean maybe he's below average. Yeah, kind of. I can't say much about it. His maps were always like so fucking bad flow wise. I don't know how he managed to. Like, he made so many maps. Like, not so many. He made like 20, 30 maps, and they all suck the same exact way. I don't know why he ever thought they were like fun to play. You have to stop for NOS every 20 seconds. They're just horrible. Like, they have no flow whatsoever. Yeah, he's pretty bad. Chris has potential. You said everything that you had to say about him, or there was to say about him. Hooligan above average. Maybe he has potential to get better. Uh, maybe. And yeah, that was the row.
Alright, actually, there is some sound issue with you right now. It's just some clicking I hear in the background. I don't know what it is.
I tried muting myself and then.
I don't know what it was, but anyway, it was just when you spoke. Anyway, so since you say Dexter is mainly shit, I mean I really just no West Side Connection, so I would just say I cannot rate him at this point because West Side Connection doesn't feel like a bad map, but if he's entirely different on his own maps, then yeah, I'll just say cannot rate.
Yeah.
Alright then, you're
You
just
want me to
gonna
start the next row, maybe? The
you're
next
just gonna
row?
make it always like I think it's good for the pace. I hope it's still fine for you guys, but
We
yeah, I
can
think
still
it works
stop at
better.
people, or like, I'm already seeing Kiwi's name. I think we're gonna talk about him, but let's just try to go row for row.
Yeah. I mean, we can just conclude at the end when once we're done. To if we
Yeah.
have to elaborate on something, like for example, Rexon. Rexon for me is most of the time Chris 2. If I see him in a map, because for me Rexon is more of a WFF, not a mapper. I honestly will just put him on cannot rate because it's hard for me to grasp what he maps himself. What is the things he did in UH or in Bomu later on with Geese and Zerka? I cannot tell. So he is part of great maps, but I don't know about himself as a mapper. Chuckles, I really know only for his Infernus and Armageddon. So I just make my rating for Armageddon. Armageddon is an average map because the concept is great, a great idea, but same time the map just doesn't feel really cool. So I just put him on average, and that's that. Norby is probably the highest of this thing here. Placing him on. Is he a. I would put him on excellent because he is a legend given that his volume 5 and volume 3 are really known maps, but Map-wise, he really is just above average, and I would even say he can go be above that because his maps are super well playable, and he's like the one of the best basic style mappers, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would say he's excellent. I have no idea who Crafter is. I think I've read his name in a map, and I can somewhat picture stuff, but same time it's just so. In my head, it's so generic that I cannot really address it to someone. And those three, I feel like weren't they all in the same map, Pillars of Creation?
Yes.
That I would, you know what? I would just put them all in average, and rank this as the Pillars of Creation. I think Pillars of Creation is a pretty neat map. I don't know the other stuff they did, so I just put them in. This is my Pillars of Creation tier. It's a pretty solid map, but that's about it.
The Swedes.
All right.
Okay, Rexton. I'm pretty comfortable putting him in average, and then once again he can prove me wrong in the future. Chuckles, he had potential to be better, I think. Yeah, he had one great map and then he kind of disappeared. Norby, he's excellent for me. I think he's right there above ShonDex. Crafter, he had one great map, his Volume 5. It's called Demanding. It was like this. It was basically inspired of Pure Skills Paradise 2, but it wasn't an HDM map, it was just a longer, bit harder HDM map. It felt like a Paradise map, but it also wasn't.
I literally can't imagine a hard Norby map. Like, even if I tried, I can't.
No, I mean, I'm talking about Crafter, not Norby.
Oh, no, I craft already went on. Oh, I see.
Crafter, top of average. He had one fucking amazing map.
I
Or
really
like, I'm
don't
not
know
fucking amazing,
him.
but I like it. Coleman, Jopax, and Joye, they were, yeah, I agree. Maybe Jopax was the best of the three, like this.
All right then. Yeah, it's not the most exciting row, I guess.
Yeah.
With Norby being the only one was like really interesting. But yeah, the next one will be way more, I see. Okay, let me get started with let me skip that angel for now. I just want to jump to Kiwi because that angel, I will also wait for your judgment because I know his maps, but same time hard for me to sort right now where I'm gonna put him personally as single mapper. Kiwi is easily goaded. Is easily goaded. I think there's like barely another mapper who has such a great night style with also well-made track, especially Space Groove shows off so many great things in a single map, but also previous maps like Symphony of Spirits, super cool map. Also Perception and I forgot the volume 8 name, I think it was Digital something 2.
The universe.
Also Digital Universe 2. All those maps from volume 6 to volume 9 are like basically they go from 9 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 all collective. They are just so well done. There's no other tier I could put Kiwi in. Conquer is like a split. If you take Conquer from like start to volume 7, he is legend to excellent. I would say excellent. If you take the stuff after, it kinda shifts into a I don't know. It really puts him down. Like that, the volume 8 is cool, but then the later on maps, it's super weird to sort him. He somehow ended up making his volume 11 a really bad version of a deep power paradise. I don't know what's going on there. So actually, let me just put Conquer all in all above average to kinda sort this thing. So just so you get where I place him, like he was way better, and then he got kind of worse trying new things, and it kind of down spiraled for him. So yeah, I still think he's a good decorator, but he shouldn't touch track ever again. It's just that not working for him, I think. Flunky, I can only memorize one solo map that ends with a Sanchez spike, and the Hunter part is absolutely horrendous. That's what I have in my head when I think about Flunky. For now, I just put him on Carrot Rate because it's just not enough to really dive into it. Never, I have some solo map knowledge, but also not precise. He strikes me as an average mapper, though nothing that is really unplayable or bad in any way, and I think he's in some feats that are also decent. Oh my god. I'm gonna be honest. I know that he has some opinion community-wise. Personally, I never enjoyed Kaksa maps. I don't want to put him below average. If he's average for me, I'm not saying he's a bad mapper. I just never had a really good time playing his maps. But it's mainly because they got overplayed rather than they are bad or something. I just put him there. His maps are okayish, but I'm glad if I don't have to see his name ever again. Metran. Honestly, had potential, but decided to make shit maps. that's kind of how I would rank it. Like, his decoration is actually sick. If you pin it down to decoration, his track stuff is rather boring or not working properly. But for me, if he would have just focused on decoration and would have grouped up more with mappers who like to do better track, he would have been way better than the Metran we have now. The Metran we have now is average, but I just refuse to put him on average because he's just actually better than this, honestly. And yeah, I will just keep that engine and wait for you.
Okay. I'm already gonna make some changes. I'm gonna put Dexter in dog shit, and I'm gonna Jogia in below average. Sorry, I just feel like this is more representative.
I mean, it's
That
coming
ain't
from a
so
feed partner here, so it's kinda credible.
inside the intro. No, I mean just take a look at his fucking maps and judge for yourself. That angel, I think he was average,
Is he?
like
I mean,
somewhere with like Coleman.
I
He
just
had cool maps,
wanna.
but they were. I don't think they were ever cool because of him.
That's the thing, because that angel, when I read his name, I think about maps of feats like Poetas Navidad Sinti, and I think about
That
Dara
wasn't him.
Project.
That wasn't him. Navidad City is Dark Angel, different guy.
What? There are two angels? Okay, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
there's Dark
Okay, then I
Angel.
guess it's just Dara Project.
He is in Glowing in the Dark too.
Right, he is.
Yes, FakeDeath, that Angel, and Kiwi.
Yeah, okay, you know what? Then I put him on average too, because
He has
no way he's the anchor for making this maps great. Okay, no way, no
Yeah, I
way.
think he was
All right
average.
then.
I think he was
Okay.
okay. Kiwi, I'm gonna put Kiwi in Legend, like somewhere around here. Yeah, he was
Not
really
gold?
fucking solid. Uh, I don't think so. For the same reason, Gus wasn't the goat.
Ah,
For,
okay.
for me,
Yeah,
goat is a bit more definitive. I feel like goat is just a few people. I think all of these legends, I could make a case for all of them to be goats, but I don't think they just.
I see.
I don't know.
Nah, that's
Kiwi
fair.
stands out decoration wise to me, and his tracks were really solid. But I don't know. It's difficult for me. This just feels right. Conquer bank average to me, like this. Blanky is the same. He had one great map. His volume 2 was great. I like it, but nobody else does. I'm gonna put him like this. Never average. Like this. Somewhere, yeah. Gotcha. Okay. This is also gonna be controversial. I'm gonna put Kacha in below average. Uh, Kacha might be the best below average mapper. Like he barely had any maps, and they were all really clunky, but they still work great, and they're very nostalgic to everybody, I guess. So I'm gonna put him in below average, just skill wise. But his maps still really they're great and they work. So I don't
What
know.
a medal to have. You're the best of the worst.
Uh,
Or rather, of the worst, not the worst, but it's the.
actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna do this, and then do this. Kind of, yeah. So I mean, below average isn't bad, but I think they just never made anything that stands out on its own.
I mean, Pillars
That
of Creation did stand out for me because it's literally the reason I know these mappers. So.
Yeah, but maybe like this.
I'm not sure though.
Metran I cannot rate.
Though I think I know Coleman from Never Be Alone, but at the same time I'm not sure if it was Coleman or someone else with a somewhat equal name.
He is also in Standing Ovations, a bit with Fusions. He has some old solo maps, DEFCON 1.
No idea.
He was
Perfect.
okay. It never stood out to me.
Alright. One more to go.
No, I think I'm done with D. I think,
Did you,
or
did
the
you,
rating
I bet
is-
you did place Metran. I didn't see because my window was above. Okay, alright then. Okay, the next row. Oh, interesting row. Okay. Kalkbrenner, which we also know as Doggy, is an interesting case of a mapper who kinda like went from boring to a little exciting. I mean, Doggy style somewhat is a little bit prestigious for no reason at all, honestly.
Mm.
But the Kalkbrenner era is definitely the better one because Kalkbrenner really stands out for his object use and for his way of making like flatland tracks interesting, I would say. Like we have Sincere, we have Go, we have that other map that's like Sincere, but like the feature with the song Home. I forgot the map name right now. It was with Siku, I think, and Flash. I'm not sure. All in all, I would say Kalkbrenner is definitely above average. He is not super crazy with his maps. I think his objects are the more interesting part of his mapping, but same time, it's more like the objects are great, but his maps are a little below that because he's never really exceeding. Still, I would say better than the average mapper. Daryl is, I think, the mapper from this Better Than Your Mom map.
Yes.
I never really liked it. I never really gave it a fair chance. Also, I like this one map where where you spawn with a cart and you have like your small go kart track before you actually start.
Yeah, it's volume 4.
So I guess he's above average, but I just put him on average. Or should I put him on above average? You know what? I put him above average because the fact that I know him for those things already makes him stand out a little. I would just keep him for the moment there. Dustjoker is a mapper you either hate or love, I think. I think there's no real in between for him. For me, it's definitely a love case, and I consider him a legend because if it's about those random turns that really are all over the place, I think no one does it better than him. In the DM sector, in the easier sector, no one does it better than him. So Say Goodbye is super iconic, but also other maps like Surrender or even the Extreme 3 Volume 6. I just really say Dustjoker is a GOAT in that regard in his own sector, but it's not obviously GOAT, so he's a legend. Cool Boy, I think he had features with Asame and also a Neat Volume 2. He's also the feature partner of Alchemy, but honestly, Alchemy is a map that I only give an X. I'm not sure if Cool Boy really should play a role there. I don't know it. Relax could probably tell me, but well. I would just say Cool Boy is average for now. Oxnish is, I guess he's average. You could argue his maps are a little above that because they are a little iconic, but I never really felt like his maps are that great. But not bad. Tashgon is an above average HDM mapper, and I feel like, you know what? I always felt like he had more potential than he shows, but same time he mapped so much that it's odd to place him there. I would just say he's excellent. He makes the most. He's in the more enjoyable tier of HDM maps. Let it be monotonous series or be or let me get all those names straight. There are so many names. Sometimes I'm having a hard time recall HDM names. But Nemesis is probably my favorite of him, even though Nemesis is an underrated HDM map. But he's in a lot of maps that I consider more better than others in the sector, especially of that modern era. I don't know who Mystic is. Have I ever heard the name Mystic? I have no idea. Oh wait, Mystic's already one too far. I see. Alright. Anyway, I already placed him. So yeah, your turn.
Okay. Quick fire. Kalkbrenner above average. They're real bang average. I don't really like his maps. I'm just gonna put them here, doesn't matter. That's Joker for me. This might shock you above average. Maybe like here.
I mean, good enough.
Yeah, I don't. They're
As
fine, but yeah, not entirely for me. Cool boy average, somewhere like here. Oxenkish. I have a sweet spot for his maps, but mm,
I mean, above average would be valid for him still, I think. I just
yeah,
didn't feel the
bottom of
way.
above average for me. Saigon I cannot, or Sajigon, however you say his name, I cannot rate him. Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I mean, you can already take Mystic now since I took him accidentally, so.
Who?
Mystic, the next one.
Oh, same. I just,
We
I
both don't know it.
yeah, I don't really know his maps. So
Like, I can't even recall a feature of him. Is he like in the map with Flash? Flash feed Mystic? Was it Silent Skills? Was it feed Mystic? I'm not sure.
yeah, I saw his name. I know he has a few maps, maybe just one. To be honest,
I really just want to know
I'm
if
not familiar.
that's this map because I know Silent Skills. It might be.
No,
Ah,
Silent Skills is
Here's
Control.
Silent Skies. Oh, sorry, Silent Skies. Yeah. Yeah, okay, it's feet of. Yeah, but that's not enough for me to rank him anyway,
Search for
honestly.
his name. Flashpit Mystic Silent Skies.
Yeah, exactly.
He
That's
has
the one
three
thing.
volumes apparently, and a map with PCHZY or Psygzy or however you say his name called Delight. And he has a map with Rosie called The Edge of Solace. I have
Okay, I
no
think I
idea.
played the maps, but yeah, Mystic never stood out as a name for me then. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
then we leave it at that. And then we just take the next row, I would say. Oh man, that's an odd row. Actually, let me
Yeah.
start with excluding PB and TT. No idea of. I think I read PB once, but not sure. Rostclyde, I will also put here for now. I know I played his maps. Just for starters, Rostclyde and Rostlight are different people, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I played some of them, I can't really differ what I played there. So yeah, I wouldn't rate them. Leaves us with 5 people here. I will just immediately put Prime in the potential tier because honestly, as someone who is in close contact with him, I would argue that Prime might be the potential best new gen mapper we're getting here. Downtown Dash already showed a lot what he can do, like vibe wise and scenery wise, and it's apart. Like if it's not everything that's not track, I think he's goat potential. Literally, I have high value of Prime, really high value. Phantom, on the other hand, is like I think he's below average. I'm not too sure. I will just put him here because maybe arguably I'm influenced by Lacia here because he really likes to use Phantom as a term for random bullshit. And when I play his maps, I also get the feeling that if Phantom maps wouldn't be scripted, I feel like they would be insanely unplayable. They're somewhat can be enjoyed, like Touching is an enjoyable map, but I don't know. Phantom is hard for me to rank, but if I have to rank him, I would say he's probably below average because his maps are just so odd, and I have no idea if the playability is even like a thing for him he considers when doing them. I don't know. Then we have Proton. I always hear Midnight City when I think about Proton.
Yeah.
Um, Above average, I would say. His maps are definitely more interesting than the average map, but even above Sunset, like Green Island Series 2 and the stuff he did with Tommy. Also, this Speedfire series. Not ultimately the thing I really like or love or something, but it's definitely above average. Punk. Punk is an underrated star. Honestly, I feel like Punk never really got the prestige he deserved. He is above average. I'm not sure if he's excellent. Like he in core he is kinda average, yeah, but I always felt like he's more. I had a sweet spot for him, so yeah, I just leave him at above average. I want to point out that his Volume 8 is a super great vibe. Also Volume 9. But also the previous series, super cool maps. Except the fifth, it's a little odd, but yeah. And this will be the most biased opinion I might can offer today. I put him on Legend. No sweat. I might be the only person on this freaking community who puts StrongGT that high. But the moment I played his maps, I was like, this is one of the most unique HDM kinds I've ever witnessed, and I really, really love it.
What the fuck?
His maps are slightly unplayable. I get it. But look, the thing is, if you start training those maps and you have kinda affinity for the style he does, you really like you just can see above the trash in it, and it's just like some one time experience you just can't get from anyone else. That's just my standing on StrongGT, and I just like him really a lot. I like playing his maps from like volume 11 or 12 upwards. Every single one of them. It's just so unique, so cool. I don't even care if they sometimes don't work properly, really. I never had this with another mapper. Real talk. That's why I might be the only one who ranks him that high. Okay, now your turn.
Okay, that's gonna be fucking polarizing. Okay. I cannot rate him. I'm not unfamiliar. PB or PB and TT or Tete, however you say their names, I think they were both below average, even back then. Roskilde. Oh, yeah. He was okay, but his tracks were always like so fucking clunky and so like tight that you could barely make the jumps. Uh, he was pretty bad.
I mean, I really can't
Prime,
recall a single
you
map.
said everything there was to say. I think he has massive potential. Proton, average to me. Uh, I liked his volume one, and then everything else he made, I just didn't like. Punk, again, bang average to me. I like the song and a few of his maps. Strong GT,
You can put him on dog shit. I don't mind. I would get it.
like this. Strong
Because
GT, I feel like I've said this many times. Strong GT made the best shit maps. Like his maps look good. They always look like they were good maps. Like they were like almost like they look like a FakeDeath map or something. Like all the tropical maps, they looked amazing, but to play them was actually like it was horrible.
yeah, but that's exactly what I was like trying to say. The thing is, once you get into those maps, you can like there are even some HM people who train them and then still don't like them. But once I trained them, I was like, oh my god. I mean, I know it's shit, but it's actually addicting shit. Actually.
Yeah, I don't know his new maps. I'm talking about the old maps, like the volume 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All of these.
Oh, that's entirely
They were just
different.
not mapped correctly. Like you were driving and then you just didn't reach a jump, or you overflew a jump, or you crashed into the like the top
Yeah.
of the loop, and it's just bad.
Yeah, then it's entirely different because like if you go from volume 14 as Scanner upwards to those maps, it's like an insanely odd kind of HDM that's up, but also like kinda mixing with OS elements. It makes no sense. It makes really no sense. Nothing what happens in StrongGT maps makes any sense. But it's like so unique. You really should give them a look at least, like later on, because it's just so silly. There will never be another mapper like this guy.
Okay.
Alright, the next.
We have a second of intermission. Can you check how long we've been recording for?
Oh, it's 138.
148. I propose an idea of making parts of this video.
I don't mind. We can do this. Sure, we could do this.
So let's go on, and then when we get to the 2 hour, 2.5 hour mark, then we say this was part one, and then we do another recording session sometime, and then we can just take a screenshot and then rank all of them
Sure thing, we can do this. No,
again, and then yeah.
sure thing, we can do this. I mean, fair enough. The next row will be fast as hell. I can
Yeah.
assure you, because let me get started with who. I know that guy. I think he's average. The thing is, if I know a name, but I can't recall any map, I guess he's super average. um, okay, this might be the only guy a little bit trickier because Rata has interesting stuff, but never really cool maps. I would say above average just for the idea's sake and the colorfulness of his maps. Who is Stranger? I don't know. I feel like Marx is the guy who is constantly getting carried by his feature partners. So I can't really rate him because I don't know what he did in Sidra Skills. Sidra Skills just feels like Red GTX Core, and Sidra Skills 2. I don't know. Does he map? Is Marx a mapper? Does he actually map? I don't know. I kinda know who you are, but who? Javi is excellent, honestly. Has super cool maps. Especially his later volumes, they are all super cool. I don't know what he did before, but every Javi map is kinda a ride of really cool stuff. Can't really say bad things about him. And Smix is a legend for me. Simply because Smix is he and another guy we'll get to later sometime. Maybe in this video, maybe in the next. He is one of two people in the modern HDM era who made skill a thing that's not turn-based. And that is a thing I really appreciate. Zeitgeist, Insurrection, Descent are barely like ShonDex style or Stand style auto turn parts, but just raw Infernus control, and I really, really love this. So that's my ranking here for this row.
Okay. Punky. Didn't have many maps, did he? I'm gonna put him in average, kind of like this.
Put him beside
Dreams.
Punk. Punk and
Punk
Punky
and
wanna be
Punky.
together.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck it. Some Punky. Dreams. I don't really know his maps, to be honest. I think they're all really easy, right?
The thing is, there is the Dreams and there is Dreamer, and I think both of them map. I mean, Dreams is a thing in Nova.
No, isn't
But,
Dreams a
like,
Latino mapper? Because Dreamer was from Latvia. Different guys.
the Dreams we have in Nova is from Netherlands.
No, that's Dream. That's
But then maybe it's also maybe there are also two Dreams. I don't know. There are a lot of people with Dream in the name, and it's. And the thing is, I've never seen a Dream making a map that's exceeding. So that's the issue with this. You know what I mean?
it gets confusing because there's Dreams, and I think as a Latino mapper, there's Dreamer. He was
Oh
from
no,
Latvia.
wait. I think we have
There's a
Dream.
player called Dreamer who is Turkish, and he has made new maps, but it's not that Dreamer.
Wait, actually,
There's
wait. Dreams is, I think, the Latin, and we in Nova got Dream with no S. I think that was the.
There is a Dutch player called Dream. He has a map.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one we have in Nova.
Dream. He had a map with Alex and Sino called Lost
Yeah, but
Place.
no.
I think that Dream is Sapphire.
Yeah,
So
but now the
it's
thing is,
confusing.
but you get me. So it's like the fact that it's so hard to differ all this Dream guys pretty much says that a Dream mapper never was really exceeding in anything.
Yeah, because they get we confuse them with each other, right? So
they can't be that good.
And like average, like yeah, Rata. Rata maps are interesting, right? Like they're fun, but they're fun because they're shit.
Yeah, but
So
it's like it's intentional shit, so I can appreciate that. I can appreciate a good idea.
I don't know the guy. I have a feeling that Rata is an older person. Like he might be in his 30s already, and he was just like fucking around.
I'm a mecha una loca aventura.
Yeah, una loca aventura, DJ Rata. Yeah,
Oh, man.
I'm unironically gonna put Rata in at potential.
I mean,
Because I think he had great ideas, and I think
he was just trolling.
Rata is the Latino Jumbo, I feel like.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good take, actually.
Stranger, I think he was okay, but I'm gonna put him in below average because just for the sake, or just for the sole reason that he had some controversies with like maps and stealing maps and stuff like that, and it puts a bad taste in my mouth. I don't exactly know what happened, But Stranger himself, I don't think he ever made anything that really stood out to me, so I'm gonna put him in below average. Margs, I have no fucking idea. Christian, no fucking idea. Javi, or however you say his name, I'm gonna put him at the top of average, I think. I played his maps and they were pretty fun, but they never stood out to me that much. Smix, I'm gonna put him at the bottom of below average, like around here.
Bottom
Like he
of
was
above average.
okay. HDM maps, they were never like super fun to me, but I remember um the two maps which I don't remember the name of, the two HDM maps.
Kalabab maybe.
No, the
Zeitgeist.
yes.
Ah.
They were fun at the spawn or something, so they were like fine.
I mean, I would arguably say that Smix is the closest to track matters of the other mappers, I think.
Oh, I had a typo. Look at this. Spectrum. Whoopsie.
Spectrum!
Spectrum. I was
Happens.
so proud of myself for typing all of these names out, and I fucked up.
Oh man.
Whoopsie.
It happens. But alright, next row then?
Yeah.
Alright, okay, so Snakejack. Honestly, I'm not sure if he has more than 2 maps, because I can only say there's this volume 1 that I
Yes.
think most people know, and there was a feature with whoever the hell.
Loco and Gasoil. It's called Andersah.
Yeah, exactly. What I can say is both of those maps are good, definitely, but I mean they have some cool touches, but it's not enough to put him on above average, I would say. So I would say average, he's decent, it's enjoyable.
Sorry to interrupt. Lower masters know that Snakejack was also Dolan. Yeah, there was a guy called Dolan. It was Snakejack, and he made like a really fucking horrible map. It was really funny at the time. It was a troll map. I'll show you after the recording.
I mean,
It's
no
yeah.
idea about it, but yeah. Oh, if I hear Snakejack, I think about okay-ish map, can play, don't have to. Sonics is kinda like the OG Smix, I think. He makes like he had like potentially super hard maps for like casual people. Especially Fortress. Like Fortress is honestly so tough if you're like not training at all. And I would say Sonics is in his own craft. I really just know Fortress and the Intrex too, which is pretty much also the stuff people usually play. And I would say based on this maps, he's excellent because it's a super cool execution of making a very casual approach of mapping very tough as a small challenge. So I can appreciate that. Sonic is a vibe mapper again. Given how many stuff he did, I probably don't know too much. I know Volume 6 with the cheddar flying high in the sky at first, and then, like, yeah, the map is kind of playing itself. Final 10 is kind of iconic, also back in time. I would say Sonic overall is average, though. I can't really say above average, but it's fine enough. Spectrum is a potential mapper. I feel like if he continued from the more modern maps, he did like the feat with Akino, and there was one with Legion and Espawn, I think. Not Moment Vasia, this was another one. I forgot the name of it. But I feel like the late game of Spectrum showed that he was more than his previous maps. Overall, I would say he's slightly above average at the end of his career, but I was just gonna put him in potential. Spoiler is the guy from Dilemma.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't rate Dilemma, honestly. I haven't played it enough to judge it. That's the guy from Sudden Inspirations.
Striker.
I only know this one map, and I would say just this map alone tells me he's above average. Like kinda. I don't know if he did much more. I just feel like this map alone shows me he is probably better than the average mapper, but probably not too crazy. And we're ending this row with S Veteran then on Legend. S Veteran is kinda like the Dust Joker with more skill-based approaches, and I would say arguably all of his maps going upwards the Infernus Control era are great in its own right. The Downhill series is super great. The Unlock Power map is great. As I said, Infernus Control is a cool series, it's a cool trilogy. And Source Code might be partly one of the hardest series maps in the game. Like if you play the raw version of them, not the fixed 7.1 and the Source Code 2. I don't know how you even play this, honestly. Crazy shit. And also the modern after like the small comeback era with Volume 8 and there was another solo map. They're all good. Veteran is definitely a legend for me.
Okay. So, Snakejack, he was definitely a person who had potential. He was really good, but he only made like a few maps. So, yeah, I think
Honestly.
he had potential.
Actually, I put him also on potential. Now that I think about it, it's a better approach here.
Sonics. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go against my own logic. I'm gonna put Sonics, like somewhere around here and excellent. He didn't have many maps, but I feel like Sonics definitely peaked at his volume 6. I feel like I don't know how to explain it, but like for example, Regx's volume 3 doesn't make me feel like the same way about Regx as Sonic's volume 6 makes me feel about Sonic's.
One thing though is Volume 6 like genuinely in Volume 6 or is it just Fortress? Because I'm not sure if
It's volume 6, so just didn't number them, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay, okay, yeah, because I've never seen a volume and I
it's
really only know those two maps and obviously know that if Intrex 2 exists, it must consider Intrex 1 is a thing, but I've never seen it.
Intrex 1 was volume 4. He had 3 solo maps before it. They were like really old school. So Intrex 1 was like a high jump.
I see, yeah. So basically he peaked and then was like, yeah, okay, I leave when I have my prime. There won't be
Yeah,
anything better after that. Which
he
is a
had
fine
like
decision.
one beat with Experiment, and that's basically all he did. And he had like maybe like a few race maps, I think. Sonic, Hungarian guy, or like Hungarian Slovakian guy. I always got the feeling that he was above average. I'm gonna put him at the bottom of above average. He was really good, really underrated and really under the radar, but I think he was great. Spectrum. uh, for me, he's just average. He's the same case as like Luca Coles or Luca Souls. He may still prove me wrong. I think there's room for improvement. Uh, Spoiler has a sweet spot for me. Sweet, like he has a special place in my heart. I really like his Volume 7 and his map with Moonlight and his Volume 6 and 5. Uh, I'm gonna put Spoiler at the top of above average. Um, his tracks were like clunky, but it's the same way as like rolled. It's like it gave a charm to the maps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Striker, he was excellent. Striker was a really, oh my god, it's so hard to scroll up. Striker was an excellent mapper. He was really, I'm gonna put him like here. He was really consistent. He doesn't have a bad map. He might, depending on who you ask, because he also dabbled in the NRG skill thing like Abodi did. So it was a bit like, yeah, if you don't like them, or for example, if you can't do the like the boosted jump with NRG, when you like wheelie and then you go,
Yeah,
then for example, you can't play one of his maps because you're just gonna fuck it up. I cannot do it, so that map I don't really like.
I mean, actually, I gotta say, Sudden Inspirations 2 is literally the map I learned about this thing the first time, and it was like 2019 or something. I didn't know it
Yeah,
exists.
you were a bit late to the party, but yeah.
Uh,
And Svatran, I'm just gonna put him here just for visibility. Uh, yeah, I never really liked his maps. Nowadays, I prefer them over HDM and stuff. So I think his maps aged well. How well though is the question. I'm gonna put him in like kind of like this, I think. He was never really my favorite. I never really liked his maps when they came out. I even found it a bit annoying that they were like so overplayed, but that's just a personal taste issue. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think he could have done better, maybe. Like his volume 8 was, or 7 was like undecorated, for example. So I feel like he kind of gave up by the end. I don't think he got to see the best of him, but I also don't think he has like he's like someone who just had potential. I think he got like most of it out, and then it was just that.
All right then. Oh my god, the next list is crazy. we're starting crazy and then ending in a little weird no. Actually, let me get done with the lower ones for me personally, which would be the lesser 5 here. F4. Which is I don't know who this sort of time is. I only know time Z with a Z at the end. Thomas, wait. Let me get this maps in. He's the gradually guy that I know.
Yes,
Was there anything? There was something else, but I forgot actually. I
he had
think.
some maps, yeah, but
I will
I,
just pin it
I can
down to
check for you.
gradually,
Check.
and given that gradually mainly lives from others, I would say arguably, especially part two, I think is a lot GT Terror influenced. I'll just put him on average
You,
because
you
if
wanna you wanna hear about some of his maps? I looked it up. He
yeah,
has a map
sure.
with Benjas called Synchronize. He has Feed Gurk and Benjas called Boundless Nature. Gradually 1 and 2. There's a map called Dunes with Benjas, Gurk, and Dione or Dione. There's another map with Gurk called Invoke Softness.
Yeah, but it's already enough because, like, I always hear now Benjes, I hear Gurk. That's always those mappers that I know well from also their other maps, and I feel like he's just like the guy with them. So I guess average is just fine at this point. It just doesn't
Yeah.
seem like he's really much exceeding this. I can place my first dog shit with AFG or 4VCI. I don't know how you want to name it. Like, I can't recall a particular map, except that one with where you start with a slide. But every time I opened a map of him and I played it a little, I had the worst experience ever. And it was like not just once or twice, it was like 5 times by now. I think I can call him dog shit actually. It's just I never had a different experience. And Techno I only know from like I think Volume 7 or Volume 8, which was an okayish map. I'm not sure if I would rather rate him on based on this or just put him on average, so I guess I can just put him on average again. As you can see, I don't have many below average, I'm just rather kind. Except with FG. I don't like this guy. Okay, let's go to the sweet stuff of this ranking here. That four guys. Swifty, honestly, I think the Swifty nowadays is like 80 to 90% known for God Complex. And
Yeah.
the other stuff is kinda behind. I know he's part of Celestial Reaches, or I think it was somewhat named like this, which is honestly super cool map. I really like that one. And yeah, all in all, I for myself also can't say much about Swifty. God Complex is definitely a super cool series. I think he kind of messed up the track a little on part two, but the decoration improved a lot there. I would say Swifty. Actually, I don't know if I want to put him on has potential because I mean he kind of dropped the potential on God Complex. I feel like he has the potential to do way more, definitely, because he seems like he hit a very good scale there. But I would just put him on above average for now. I'm not sure if we will see more of him. I would say he's fine here because, yeah, apart from those maps, he isn't much known for anything else, and those maps are just crazy. But yeah, just leave him there. Fair enough. Tampon is the same like Swifty in some sort, just that unlike above average to has potential, Tampon is pretty much like to goat or has potential because I don't think I've apart from one other map which would be Crashes Chasing Infinity 2, I've never seen a map that aged so well in a way that I would say Tampon could drop Celebration today and it wouldn't feel like an old map in particular.
It would still be amazing. Yes.
That's what the only two maps I could say this about. And it's crazy given that this map was released I think in 2013. It's like 11 years ago. So on one hand, I would say Tampon is a goat just for this one drop. But same time, it's also like it would be worth the potential. I think I put him on the potential list simply because if he was capable of this 11 years ago, it's just so unimaginable what would be today. But you can just like in your head just think he would be somewhere up here, definitely. He the very least legend, a high legend, because you just don't pull this feat off thin air. And I know for well that he did most of this himself, mainly because he is a perfectionist. So he really was that great by himself. It's just insane. Which leaves me with two more here. We have this guy. I think this guy is a sweet spot for you. I feel like this is like the type of mapper you like. For me, Volume 3 to Volume 5 are cool maps. I would say he's excellent, actually. Maybe even a legend, but I would say excellent is just suiting for me. Those are all maps that just feel kinda unique, given that he's also an OG mapper. I mean, no Juju is definitely a map that's like nothing. No map feels like this one really. Maybe a little bit Egyptian skills, but not quite. And Volume 5 has a lot of funny ideas with the track actually. So that guy is actually okay, yeah, this guy is actually I was actually just referring to him as this guy, but he's actually this guy, Jesus Christ. It's actually a good mapper. Actually very good mapper. And then we have one of my favorite people in MTA, Akano. We mapped together pretty early on during our both mapping careers, kind of when he was named Xara. Let's be honest, Xara is a super troll mapper with super odd maps, and then when he renamed himself to Akeno, he made more refined maps, still a little bit crappy, but the moment he got into the scripting game, I feel like he's one of the best script users because he is more like in the Schwan type of way. I gotta say, I don't like it when he goes more HDM. I feel like his best spot is when the maps are rather playable and just like flexing with some turns, like more in the Dust Joker way or well, Schwan. I would say he's above average. I wouldn't put him too high, but his maps are definitely on paper way more enjoyable than some others. So yeah, that's Akeno for me.
Okay, my turn. Swifty. I'm gonna put him in has potential. I think something like this. Kinda. I like God Complex. I love the idea. I remember when it came out and I commented on it, and I got called out for being, I don't know. People thought that I was being negative about the map, even though I wasn't, because I said like it's amazing how good the map looks, even though he didn't do anything special. Like he didn't use any special objects. Just the way that the draw distance just made the entire map look so much more grand. It looked amazing, and people thought that I was being like,
I guess that's just because of your reputation, honestly.
yeah, like if I'm not saying, if a map doesn't make me come, then it's probably I'm just being negative.
You're more like in Germany we have this like the highest value you can give a person is like da kann man nicht meckern, which is basically I can't complain. That's the highest value. And I feel like you have this kind of aura. Like if you can't complain, it's like kinda you're damn you did a
Well,
pretty good job.
but I don't know. I think adjectives have weight to them, so I don't like using the word amazing or like because it doesn't amaze me, right?
Yeah,
It's
fair.
cool. It's not. I like it. Tampon. Interesting case with Tampon. He barely has any maps. But the few maps that he did make were enough to convince me that he's fucking amazing. Just as I said, like I don't like using the word amazing, but his volume 3, for example, amazed me. So I'm gonna put Tampon in legend. I cannot go around it. I think the few maps that he made, his volume 3, and then he did make like I don't know how familiar with you are with like for example FFS minigame maps and shit like that.
No, not at all.
I saw just some screenshots of stuff that he makes, or like I played some of his maps in the minigames or in FFS, and they're so good. Like that, I feel like the dude just he doesn't put in any effort. He doesn't have to, and they're just fucking the
No,
stuff
but
that he makes.
the thing is, I talked with people who know the guy well, and they meant he was a super perfectionist about stuff. So that's why Volume 3 is the way it is. He also had a Volume 4 apparently, but that never got finished. The
Yeah, yeah,
thing, the thing is, what made him also so great is the fact that he kinda. You said there is no mapper who's like have all perfect cross on every aspect of mapping, but Tampon probably had the potential to actually be that because track he's actually good in speed track. Decoration, I mean, I don't have to. You just have to look at the volume 3. Come on, and on top he was also like well with modding and scripting and all that stuff, so he kinda had the cards for being exactly that, but he
yeah.
just like didn't.
I'm gonna give him legend because I feel like the fact that he was able to convince me that he's really good just by making fucking free maps is it speaks for itself. Akeno, no idea. This guy, legend, absolute fucking legend.
Yeah, I thought so. I would have been
Uh,
confused if you
kind
put
of,
him lower.
kind of the same reason as Tampon. Uh, the stuff that he made was so unique at the time. Like the vibe, the who was it that I said? Was it? It was Vortex, right? When I said the music and the map just felt like they were like one unit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Like,
no juju. I felt like the song was made for the map, literally.
yeah, I have no idea where he pulled out that song from. Like, I found it on YouTube, and there was like one video with 2,000 views on the song before it. Like I feel like the song on YouTube has like 5 times the views it would without the map existing. I have no idea where he found it, but I feel like it is one of the most perfect like song map matches MT has ever seen.
I even think the song would never work anywhere else. Like if I would put it in a playlist, it wouldn't be like anywhere close to what happens if it is on no juju.
It might work on a map, like it's a great song on its own, but with the map, I feel like I don't know. It's just perfect. The map itself isn't perfect. Like you can see the imperfections, and but like it makes up the vibe and the charm just makes up for it. Like he's an absolute legend. Uh, Time was okay. It was average. Like this. Thomas, unfamiliar. Techno was also average. Like this somewhere. Uh,
No words
yeah.
spoken.
If I speak, I'm in trouble. I'm already not on the good side of the guy because
Mm.
I don't know how known this is. Have you seen his volume 8? I think on the spawn. Like you
Mm.
spawn in the map, and there's actually a poly art that says, "What does it say?" Wait, BriaN. But he didn't even spell it right. Like
Oh,
BriaN
you have a thing with that guy like me and Hugao
hat
apparently now
hat
having.
bastard and egoist or something. Like he couldn't even spell it.
Okay.
The entire fucking story is like it's basically the, and I don't mean to be like egotistic or narcissistic, but it is the fucking Thanos meme. The you took everything from me, and I have no idea who the fucking guy is.
Pretty much, it seems
He's been
like it.
blaming me for years because he asked me once for a feed like many years ago, and I said sorry man, I don't even know who you are. And ever since then, he's been sending me. I remember there was a time, I don't remember which server, but every time he saw me, he just started spamming me in PM, just the word ego, like ego in full caps, and he just fucking
Oh
spammed me
man,
every single time.
yeah.
But this was like in 2016, 17, and ever since that, like, I haven't even spoken to him since. It's been 7 years, and now he made the map with the bully art, and like it is next level fucking grudge that he's holding.
That's okay. It's actually
And
odd.
I never spoke to him outside this like conversation, and he asked me for a feed, and I said no. At least I don't remember.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean,
It's
yeah,
hilarious.
that's it.
Yeah,
That's about it. Okay.
I played his maps, dog shit. I'm sorry, and I don't. It's not even because of like the beef or whatever you want to call it. I just
I mean,
nah.
I feel you. Like, as I said, I played 5 maps or something, different maps of him, and it was always the same experience. It was just pure pain. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if they get better when you train them, but I don't think so. It doesn't feel like it, at least. But well, the next row, that will be interesting because I think I know the name. I can't recall any map. I can recall Jax a little. There was one map with a feature that was kind of decent, so I put him on average, but that's like also about it. I think Moze had like one strange volume 1 that some people feel like they have to put it on WFF list because oh my god, it has such cool cuts or something.
Sorry to interrupt. Mose's old name was Designs. If
That
that rings.
doesn't help me at all.
Okay. I just figured it might, so I will
I
say
think
it.
Moze has like
He
volume
had
1
more
and
maps
volume
before his
2.
volume 1.
Actually, let me just look for Moze if it is that guy. Oh no! I think I maybe swapped him with a guy named Monet. Then
Mose
Revelate.
was,
It
I
was
think,
that one, but Revelate. Does he have a volume 2?
nah, just
Nah,
one. Okay.
average then I guess. Then I mean I played that volume 1 also, but yeah, it was just the most regular map I've ever seen. Better than like flatland maps, but yeah. Note, I think I can say he has some features, but
Yeah, I
can
don't
you
think he has any solo maps. No.
can you actually tell me some maps of note? If there's some.
Yes. Let's see. I know he has a map in Mosaic, and that's why their names are like next to each other.
Actually, I mean, honestly, in this entire row, I barely know
Okay,
anyone.
Node fit Mosaic fit Strange's StrongGT, I think. Peaceful Resistance. StrongGT fit Node fit Rider Troublemaker.
I put him on
He
unfamiliar.
does have solo maps. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. He has 6 volumes.
Yeah, but I don't know any of them. Okay, cannot rate. Valentino's the same. I know Valeru, who will come later in the next row, but Valentino, I have no clue. Nike also no clue, which pretty much in its entire row leaves me only with Audi. And Audi honestly is one of the I think you could say the HDM guy with the most potential. Because like if you look at his maps, Blazing and especially exclusive ability, he had some way of mix, maybe even like the type of mapping that's like still rather calm compared to the other turn-based mappers. But given he is one of the greatest HM players of all time, I think I can phrase it like this. You really feel like he really took this knowledge of HDM playing and put it in his maps. And it made his maps oddly difficult with simple methods, and especially his Volume 4, which had to be nerfed. And it has a nerfed version because it was like too hard to play for the majority of the players. So that kind of speaks for itself. So yeah, I feel like he had potential to be way crazier, even with exceeding that type of mapping, because it was rather unique to approach like this. Yeah, that's what I can say about Audi. And it's kind of a shame that he didn't do more. But yeah, it's kind of a more boring row for me. I don't know if you can say more.
One quick change before I do anything. I'm gonna put time in below average, I think. Mohand, uh, he has a volume 4, right? Called Golden something.
Wait, Golden Valley or something?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
I can't recall the map, but I remember the name. At least it's good at naming maps. That's good.
Uh, I would have put him in unfamiliar if it wasn't for that map, I think. So think I'm gonna put him in average. He was okay. Jax also average. I liked his maps. They were like pretty old, but they were like just fine. Mose, actually, I'm gonna put Mose in above average. He was pretty cool. I talked to him a lot at the time. I think he had potential to be better, but I'm not gonna put him in had potential because
So is that rather from the
I
designs
scrolled up
perspective?
and Rata is so fucking out of place, but I'm gonna stick with it.
But it's like the mosaic part. Is it like from the designs perspective, or like because he only has one map as mosaic, and I'm a little confused there.
He has more. Let me check. But I
Because
think he has more.
I
Old
can only
mosaic.
recall that one map. That's why I'm so confused, because like that would be more like a
Almost fit
potential.
Mosaic Velocity, but that might be the design's name. Diablo fit Mosaic fit Excision sedated. He had a map with Flame Cord Burning Illusion.
With
He had a
flame.
map with,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
DJ Crazy called Limitless Violence. So I think
I
I
see.
remember his Volume 1 being pretty cool and it looked great, and I thought he had potential to be on a level of like Fancy, Anus, all of these like Excision, because I think they were like the good mappers at the time. Not the best mappers, but the good, like solid mappers. So I think he had potential to be that, so I'm gonna put him in above average. Note was bang average. Valentino, I don't know. He how many maps does Valentino have? Valentino, let's see. I know he has at least a few.
I mean, I don't even know who he is, so.
I think he's from Argentina, if I'm correct. I found two. I'm gonna put him in like yeah, he has a map with Pizza, Stylock, and TNT called Desert Collapse. And there's a map Valentino with Ricardo Tropical Adventure. Not enough for me to judge.
Tropical Adventure is the most basic name ever.
Yeah, that's like fucking is the frappe latte of fucking map names. Niker was average. I liked his volume 3. But that's about it. Audi. Audi is for me is like between unfamiliar and below average. I never and I don't know if it's because his maps are not that good or because I don't like HDM.
I would say probably put him right on count rate, because Audi is, I think, too unique. I think you wouldn't wanna put him on below average if you
I
checked him
remember
off thoroughly.
the thing I remember about Audi is him releasing the after the Deep Power Paradise maps, and I remember one. I feel like people started doing the fucking after map names because of me, the After the Titans, and they misinterpreted the meaning of the map name entirely. Like it's not after because it's a tribute, but the original is called Path of Titans. So you're going after the Titans on the same path. That's it's not because of it's a tribute.
I'm not sure if he took that one. I mean,
I feel like because it's not grammatically correct. Like what the fuck does it even mean after the Deep Power Paradise? What do you
to be
mean?
fair, Deep Power Paradise in itself is already an odd title. Like when I thought about putting titles in German sometime, because it's just hilarious sometimes to hear them, I was like Deep Power Paradise doesn't make any sense really.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, let's not get into that because so many map names make no fucking sense. So it doesn't matter. It's just random. Let's say the
Yeah,
first
fair
one.
enough. But still.
I'm gonna put him in unfamiliar. Then I don't know. I would have to check the. I feel like I've played most of his HDM maps, but I haven't played them enough to know how good they actually are. So I'm not gonna make exceptions in the HDM category because
Yeah.
I am just unfamiliar.
All right, then next. Also, me is hard for me to rank, honestly, because I can tell from his maps he has some little more unique style, but same time I'm not sure if it's enough to say it's above average. So I will just put him on average because he seems to be quite alright from what I've seen. I've played like 3 or 4 maps of him. But yeah, I can't really say. Valero, I mainly know from feed. Also, the feed, I'm not really sure what was the feed you did with him. It was like part 2 of something, something.
Bitches love cake too.
Oh yeah, it makes no sense why this was a part 2 of this map, but anyway.
Yeah, it
It
was
was
my
nothing like the first.
No, it was my it was like after the map was even done, I figured I would call it Bitches Love Cake 2 because I felt like I made some interesting parts in the map and I wanted more attention brought to the map and I remember that people liked my volume 8 at the time.
That's
So I
genuinely valid.
figured by naming it Bitches Love Cake 2, it would bring more attention to the map and more people would see that I made such cool track.
I think it kind of worked.
But I was also like 14, so you know. Don't judge me.
Honestly, I think it kind of worked. I mean, it was a classic clickbait, and actually, the irony of it is, I really don't like Bitches Love Cake 1, but I kind of appreciate part 2. So,
Interesting.
did he do decoration there or also track?
Minor things. I think I just did track and Valero decorated it, and I changed a few things, but it was mainly he who made the entire decoration.
I mean, I guess I just put him on average because he's mainly on average maps, and probably if they are exceeding, it's like less his part. So yeah. Who's Bart? I only know Bart Simpson. Dean.
The Chilean guy, Dean.
Yeah. I know he did some stuff with No Type quite a few times. I think he has this rather like OS type of style, but he also likes to do a lot of wide shades, but sideways and such things. Like it's hard to say what I mean, but like this more older style, but DM map basically. I think average is fine for him because I never saw him really much exceeding just as no type until recently. So I think I can put it like kind of like the older no type era with him too. Felina and Cryptex are both names I associate with Xcrow because of I think one feed. And like overall, like those names are usually like combined in some feeds like what was this? A Place of Beauty, I think, was the series
Yes.
called.
Yes.
I would say average. It was an interesting series, but I feel like the names alone just don't really make me consider that they are above anything. Then we have Deco, and Deco honestly has a sweet spot for me. On one hand, I would say he has potential, but same time he has so many maps I don't think that suits him. I put him above average because he's barely not enough to put him on excellent, but he has some style I can appreciate. Like he has the softer maps, like with some choices I can't comprehend how he can. Like, how would you put yesterday in a damn map? Or like this We All Fall in Love sometimes. It's so insanely calm that I feel like I'm not even playing MTA at this point. But it somehow kinda works with his maps. And then his Volume 11's Gate Destroy is actually so a cool vibe. I really like it. And he had a Volume 12, but I think it got lost. It was there. It had the Melancholy Hill song from Gorillaz, which is an actually banger song. And it has such an exceeding decoration that I felt like, oh my god, that guy is now exceeding. But then there was never anything coming after. And I also never saw the Volume 12 ever again. It was just gone. It vanished. Like I sometimes you could probably gaslight me into thinking that I made it up that the Volume 12 existed, but I played it. I know it was there. I think it was on Empire of Riders or Voltec. I'm not sure, but I'm convinced it was there, and it looked super cool.
You'll be happy to know that I have the maps. You can
Do
play
you
it.
have Deco Volume 12?
Yeah, I do.
Or
I checked the map song and it's Melancholy Hill. So
I really gotta play that again. It was actually super cool. But yeah, that's why it's above average for me. And ending with I don't know who Smiths is.
okay. So awesome was average, I would say. I'm gonna do this. I feel like sorry, I keep making changes. Maybe like this. Valeru average. Bart average. He was fine. Dean. Sorry, I put Mose in the wrong thing. I just noticed. I wanted to put him in head potential. Dean. Above average, barely for me. Palino Cryptex, average. Deco, I don't know. Smith is interesting. I don't even know the guy, but he has some really fucking cool, like old school, vibe, new maps. And he was, I remember his volume 1. It's called Super Pooper Drooper, if you remember. And I think he has a volume 2 of that as well.
I think I know the
Uh,
map name, yeah, but I really can't recall anything about it.
like he was the first person who made like an old school type of like I think it was similar to Delta Heavy, the Moonlight and Wooden
Oh,
map,
Data Heavy is good, yeah.
and it was so good. Like it was like spot on. So for that, I'm gonna put him in Has Potential. I think he could make such cool stuff. I don't know who he is. I have no fucking idea. I think he's a Latino guy, maybe from Chile, maybe. I'm just guessing. But those maps were really cool, and he convinced me. Like in the same way as Mose, like he had a cool map, and then I think he could do cool stuff.
Alrighty. So time-wise, this might be our last row then.
Yeah,
Which
my proposal is let's rank 4 of these, so we end on 566, and then we rank the 100 in the first part.
Alright. We're gonna edge the people so hard with the terror here in the row below. And Chippy, oh my god.
Yeah,
That's so edging, oh my god.
yeah, I was looking at it. It's kind of perfect that we're gonna end this here, so people have a reason to tune in for the second episode because it's gonna be a
Alright.
banger. There's
Alright.
NX, there's Russo, Krumkey,
Oh my god.
yeah, there's banger names in the second
Jesus
episode.
Christ,
See,
okay.
Nostra, Jacob, Disaster, Mover, Sea Line, Almanov, Yuri,
Funny
Scar,
enough though,
Trevor.
if you take 4 more, this will be a little bit yikes because I gotta put Benox and Yappy already. I've never heard those names before, I think. Which leaves me with Crushit and Hypix. Now, Crushit, I would put in potential because the only maps I think you know him more because he was your partner in ER, but
Yeah,
all I've seen of him are those small, tiny maps with either it's like bike skill or like any sort of decorless small things that are kind of interesting. I feel like he had cool ideas and he just bundled them in like small packages. And if he would have made a full effort map, it probably would have been actually kind of sick. But I mean, not for me, maybe because I don't like bike maps, but I felt like he had a good creative mind to make cooler stuff, but he assumingly never did. And then, okay, let's be real. I only know this one damn map where we all know the damn meme about him, and that's all I know. So I would just say he's above average because if a part is made by Hypex, you know you're in for some good shit, but that's about it.
isn't it fucking perfect that we're ending part one by Hypex?
Oh my god, I'm gonna name it like this. Oh my
um,
god.
I just put it in the thumbnail, I think. So, Yuppie, I was unfamiliar until he had a volume 4, I think. And then I think it was Ray who introduced me to him, or his maps, rather. And they were really cool. So I'm gonna put him in with Smiths. I think he also has potential. I think he has more old maps, but I just never knew they even existed. So I would love to see more from him because it
Maybe I
was
should
really
check him out then.
yeah. Crushhead, I'm gonna put him in below average, even though I Crushhead really solid guy, love him. His old school maps were okay. Like he made maps. they were they were one of the maps of all time for sure. And his new maps are they just don't hit the bar, I think. Hypex, average, like funny meme, haha, but otherwise he was just okay, I think.
I mean, let's be
Um,
real. The only reason I put him above average is that, honestly, if you maintain to be such a meme, it's kinda worthy to be above the norm.
yeah. Also, I'm looking at it. I'm gonna put fucking Cryptex in a familiar because I think, hmm, yeah, I feel like Felina was always pulling the weight. I've never seen a single. I'm gonna check. I'm curious. Is there a single Cryptex map
I honestly
without
have no
Felina in
idea if
it?
there's a single Felina map, but well.
Is it his like brother or cousin or something like, or just a friend? Like, nah. I found 5 Cryptex maps and all of them are
I
with
mean,
Felina.
I even thought that Felina could be a female because it just sounds so feminine.
Now that you said it, I typed Felin instead of Felina. Yeah, but Felina has a volume 1. He has a map with Banshee, Nos, and Gyampa. There's Soy Sauce with Lenka and X-Crow. There's Rebirthing with Lenka. Oh, there's also Cryptex. So Felina has more maps without Cryptex in them. Cryptex only has maps with Felina in them. So I feel like I have no idea how to rate Cryptex.
I'll never join this.
Benox. Benox was fucking amazing back in the day. He made, Hypnostalgia, Crashes, and Alpha.
What? I thought it was that one guy with the 15 million volumes.
No. Benox made the custom objects, the color for loops and shit.
Oh, wait, but the map was by Supreme, I think, the original Nostalgia or
Yeah,
not.
so the maps themselves weren't really that outstanding to me. Like they were never special to me, but like the significance of his work, I think is I'm gonna put him in has potential for two reasons. One, I feel like he never made like a super banger map with his skill, and two, the has had potential tier just leaves some, you know, like I am acknowledging his skill, but I don't know how to rate him, so I'm just gonna put him in has
Yeah,
potential.
actually, I just followed you because if he made such crazy objects, it's always being able to make cool objects is always an indicator. Like, of course, we have some other cases like Dex, which we will probably also roll over later on.
Yeah,
Because
that's gonna
like
be a bit of
where
a
object and mapping skill is always like two suits, but yeah.
yeah. So this was part 1. I'm gonna scroll down so you guys can see part 2.
We're gonna make probably also then a faster pace within the next, so we don't
Yeah,
make like.
part 2 is gonna be a fucking banger if you look at the names. Like I'm seeing TNT. That's gonna be spicy.
Oh, TNT will be spicy for you. I will be like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Muzzle.
that guy from that Be Afraid series. That's actually one fun thing I wanna give already. I topped all Do Not Be Afraid parts only because I felt like it's just so funny. I don't know why. The maps aren't even that great. I just saw your feature of it, and I was like, this has 5 parts. Oh my god, let's just top them, and I'd be like, I'm not gonna be afraid to top the Afraid series.
4 is the best. I think that's a great map. I don't know why I even,
It was
but
4 or 5, I think. I don't know, but that's the main reason I even know TNT.
but anyways, it's gonna be a fucking banger. There's some Hungarian guys in here. There's NX, Action, Russo, Ravolt, Kazak,
Or even
Hermie,
action, yeah,
Pablo,
10
GT Atero.
times.
We are
Oh
gonna
my
discuss next.
fucking hell. Yummy! Yummy!
Yummy, Armani, Zero Cool.
Oh
There's
my
gonna be
god.
Amos, GameX, Denico, BC, Memphis, Tino, Beats, Gurk, Under, Finn, Johnny. You and I are here, but I feel like we should leave ourselves to last.
That's fair, yeah.
Specky, Known, No Type, Irenox, Rampage, Torque, Zuni from the new guys, Slow Sheep, Rafinha. So there's good. It's gonna be a banger. There's some spice names in here.
Alright, then. For now, I hope you liked the episode. I hope you look forward to the next one because, yeah, it's that banger names. And then we'll meet again next time. Bayonetta.
Bye.